Here we are. Episode 58, 5-8, the Unlucky 13 episode. How do you like that? I think it's episode 58. That's what it says, 58. 5 plus 8. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go through our normal process here. We're going to introduce everybody. You guys can introduce your characters, talk about the last episode a little if you want, and what you're hoping to accomplish in the next one, whatever you want. And then we're going to kick into gear and go to a recap. Who's up for a recap tonight? Extra hero point in it for you. Hero points. Don't raise your hand at once.
Oh man, I thought I normally did the recaps.
You want to do it?
Always do the recaps, Fritz. Always.
Well, it is volunteer. All right, so Kyle will do the recap. You get an extra hero point, which is yours and yours alone. And we'll get into this and see what happens next. So, you guys ready for some Pathfinder goodness?
Very much
Always.
so.
Absolutely.
Yay! Huzzah! Yes, you too, Max, in the back of the class. Let's start off with Max. Go ahead, Max. Introduce yourself, your character, and hopes and dreams, and everything else in betweens. What's going on?
Hello, Legionnaires. This is Max Liao from Legion of Myth, and I am playing Frey. That's right, the awesome guardsman from Otari, who didn't get fired, who isn't a bully, and who actually cares for everyone in his own special way. Yep, here, ready to go. Looking forward to this, and I hope we have some fun today.
Excellent.
I have no life dreams, by the way.
None whatsoever. It's like you just appeared in this setting. What place is this? Okay, Max, thanks for that. How about you, Kyle? You're up next on my list here. What's going on?
Oh, what's going on, guys? I'm Kyle. I play Vegrod, the combat veteran. Has a unique history with Frey, the little upstart. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can extend that dynamic a bit, and hopefully have some good fun while we're doing it. So
It's always a good time. Thanks, Kyle. How about you, Cassandra? Eric?
Hello, my name is Eric. I play the monk Cassandra. She's been swept up in this adventure to try and find out what is going on in the gauntlight underneath. What is happening that is plaguing the town of Otari. And will she learn how to make proper friendships with the different people in the group, as these are the first people she's had extended conversations with since her grandfather died. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Thanks, Eric. Let's go to Rachel number 1. Plays Althea. What's going on?
Hey guys, Althea here playing a human nerd named Rachel. Just kidding. Mixing it up. No. So yeah, I'm Rachel. I'm playing Althea today. She is a gnome cleric. She's got her best buddy Binley, who is her familiar mouse. And she's just heading out on adventures with everybody. Last session, she kind of went off and did her own thing, hopefully for the good of the group. But we'll get into that later, and I'm excited to play with everybody.
Excellent. Thanks, Rachel. And Rachel number 2, Dizzy.
Oh, I am Dizzy. I play your beloved and crazy witchy vampire. The crazy one that is very silent, who tends to cause problems when necessary and try to avoid killing her companions if they be a little mopey. But hopefully in today's session, she's going to stay calm, she's not going to try and kill people, and she's going to make sure everybody survives.
Hopefully. We haven't had a TPK yet. We've had a few close calls, though. A couple times. Yeah. Lots of character deaths, but there was only one time we had a close to a TPK. I think only 2 of the characters survived. What do you remember? Which one was that? That was the one with the
There
ghouls.
was like the Minotaur. There was a fight with the Minotaur that a lot of us kind of like went down. I forgot who saved the day.
I remember Elias went down. I was on Dane. I think me and Jesse was on Valifor. I think me and Valifor were the ones who finished it off. I think it even nailed Patrick. We were confined in that big room there. I think Jess was like at 2 HP whenever we finished the fight.
It was scary.
The only one that comes to my mind is the one with the ghouls, where it was just somebody called Pineapple, and Althea and Sheppy made the tough decision to leave everybody behind and run.
Yeah, we always go back to that most traumatic experience.
Yeah, that's
I told them to run, and they did what they had to do to get out of there.
Heck, even the NPC died. Like,
yeah, that's right.
NPC died, I died, Maggie died.
Yep, lost 3 characters out of 5. And it was Althea and Sheppy that made their way out, tears dropping from their eyes, running in fear. Yeah. Yeah, that was something. That's what I remember. Close call. Let's see what happens tonight. Okay, Kyle. You're welcome to get an extra hero point and do that recap from last week's episode. Feel free to go for it. Fill us in.
Last week's episode was pretty light and calm. I was able to get everybody officially introduced to Vegrod. We went through and battered down some doors. Had a fight with those creatures that were going invisible all over the place. I believe me, Frey, and Cassandra were up front, and we ordered. I think we all called pineapples at that point and quickly evacuated ourselves from the situation under intense glass fire, glass going everywhere, pots, pans being thrown about. Was pretty intense. A little nifty little fight there. And we then sort of made the choice after we started patching people up. We sort of made the choice to head back to Otari. It was time to resupply. Supplies were dwindling, running low, and we're getting low on potions, rations, torches especially. You know, we had Althea dropping torches down into dark holes to see where they went. Did exhaust the supply chain quite a bit. So we beat feet back to Otari, where little Miss Althea vanished from sight. I think Vegrod and Frey had a few conversations there. By conversations, I mean heated debates. And we sort of went around. Everybody sort of broke off and went around Otari, different places. I believe Vegrod drug or helped carry Agatha to Ren to get some sort of healing, and then went to the market. I believe everybody, whenever we left it, I believe we were all going to link back up with the rockfish, I believe. Yeah, it was a pretty chill session there. Got a lot of supplies we needed. We got some magic items identified, and it was just all around a lot of good fun there.
And we had a little session yesterday as well, which I recorded, and hopefully I'll slip that into this episode if I edit it, if I take the time to do it. Otherwise I'll post it separately. How long was that session? About an hour and a half, I think?
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Was it that long? Wow.
Yeah, just a little
That
session.
went by quickly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but a lot was learned, especially about Agatha's character. So I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that. Thanks, Kyle. Give yourself an extra hero point. Get myself loaded up here. I had to reload the page. Sorry. I do have another question, though, before we get started here. For everybody, since I've been forgetting them. This is for everybody. You can answer one at a time. And that is from your character's perspective. What is it that you hope to accomplish in this endeavor against the gauntlight? Is it something simple and straightforward, make the coin that you were promised? Or is it getting deeper? Is it getting more personal? Are there things going on? Is there more to it? We'll start off with you, Kyle.
Well, of course, you start the hard questions with the guy that's kind of got the most questionable past. I mean, it's not really coin that drives him. It's that sense of duty and nationalism, being from the north and sort of redeploying to the gauntlight. He's sort of on mission for something bigger, but also in the main, he's trying to, without spoiling anything, he's trying to find a home. Trying to find a place where he can do the most good. So it's a mixed bag for Vegrod for sure.
How about you, Althea? What do you hope to accomplish? So much has happened.
Yes, she hopes to accomplish that end goal of having Belcor defeated. She constantly keeps urging us to continue how reluctant she was to head back to town because they just absolutely needed to. She just wants Belcor defeated so Otari is safe once more, and then perhaps she'll take her own leave once following Desna and whatnot. They're often travelers, so she feels that she's got to. This is maybe the final thing that needs to be done before she can feel like a job well done and move on.
How about you, Agatha?
Oh, well, you asked the one person that's the most complicated.
I did.
For Agatha, it was just gaining more knowledge, more understanding of what forces that they're dealing with, and her conversation with somebody that she had very long ago. She still wishes to pursue that, but for her, now that she has been with the companions for a while now, it's starting to become more personal for her. She's begun to develop these close bonds with Althea. She's developing bonds with Chapt, Cassandra, and now she's got these two, Vigrid and Frey, and now she's just I hope I'm not gonna have to be a babysitter for these two. I really don't want to be. But no, eventually she'll probably develop bonds with them as well. But her end goal, now that things have begun to change, she wants to make sure that everybody comes out alive, that everybody survives, and they're able to stop things. And if it comes down to it, she may find herself in a situation where she's going to have to make herself a hard choice. So, we'll see.
Excellent. How about you, Max?
Me's just here do bashing.
Enough said.
No. No, so Frey wants to find out what happened to him. Because it was a little bit too reminiscent, not directly, but in his, I don't fully grasp the idea of magic mind. What happened to him when he first saw Vigrad down here and what happened up north that made him leave is a very similar situation. And so he wants to figure out what is happening here, investigate this, and somehow he knows that that amulet that he has is a piece of that puzzle. He just doesn't know what that is yet.
strange, mysterious amulet. Found under mysterious circumstances. Episode 52. Eric, how about you, my friend?
So this has all been just a wide opening of the mind experience for Cassandra. Things that are both dead and alive. The idea of something living long enough through hatred or duty, or she's not sure what, trying to finish a job started so long ago. Her eyes have just been open to a great many things, both the supernatural, but also the idea that someone could have such strong feelings for something that they live on past when they're supposed to move on to the next life. So this has all just been extremely fascinating for her. And between that and just wanting to support the people who have taken her in, this is really just, she's in this for the experience. You know, if ever she found out, for instance, that Belcora actually did have some sort of legitimate claim to everything, who knows, she might side with her, or at least understand it, right?
I gotta
At least
take a note
understand
here.
where she's coming from. Not that she's, no, my character's lawful neutral. She's not going to betray anybody, but she can understand the idea of, you know, sort of keeping what's yours, and family traditions and heirlooms and so on and so forth. So right now this is all just about the experience. This is all so new for her, and so because it's new, although she's insightful, she's willing to let other people call the shots about what should be done, and they have her loyalty until they do something that shows that they shouldn't.
Gotcha. It's a whole new world.
Thank you that nobody broke out into song.
Little soft chew from Althea. Dun. Okay. With that all taken care of, as Kyle mentioned, the companions have gathered back in Otari, trying to gather themselves, think about their next moves, regroup, heal up. Harrowing experience. I believe Sheppy has made his way back to his little pierside home. I'll put him on invisible mode here. He is going to be in shadow mode today. I don't think we'll actually include him.
Is he not coming at all?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it. I haven't talked to him this week. But Althea, you've been doing some things. Now, let's start with you. You had some things you wanted to take care of. Now, you took care of the coin exchange thing, right, on your character sheet?
I did, yes.
All right, now you need the things you bought, right?
Yes. I wasn't sure if you had already had one made, but
I do.
Okay, then we can add that, because I added the item and then added the spell to the text.
Let me drag that to your sheet. You see it?
Okay, let me trash mine. Perfect, and I'll slide it into the backpack.
The old slide.
Yes, and I also added the my crafting attempt. I made it just a work in progress.
It'll take at least another day. Maybe you're all flustered and you just can't get this right. I can't get it on the belt loop right. It's terrible. But we'll try again.
Don't want to lose sight of what I'm working on. I'll just keep this in my bag next time.
And let me see. Was there anything else you guys were taking care of before you hit the sack and did all your healing? Frey,
Agatha would be. Go ahead.
Frey and Agatha, we had that little session that took place during the night before the morning. Was there anything else for you two?
After that would have happened, she would have start prepping things. So as soon as she wakes up, she'd already be able to know what spells and such she'll be taking for the day.
Okay. So you're done. How about you, Kyle, your character? Grad.
Nothing the night before, but when dawn breaks the next morning, Vegrod's gonna head up to the Druid Circle.
Okay. And Cassandra, you got back to the Rowdy Rockfish with your books. Probably did a little studying before you hit the hay, I imagine. And that was it.
Yes, very much.
All right, so we're all good. And let's see, night commences. Yeah, and goes without incident. Dawn breaks the next day, the sunny day. At first light, Grad, I imagine you're probably ready to rip and roll. Are you going to wait for the others to arrive down in the Rockfish at your favorite table or their favorite table? You're kind of new to all this. Wait for the others to gather before you head off?
No, as soon as dawn breaks, Vegrod will be headed to the Druid Circle.
Okay, let me move you up there.
With all of his gear in tow.
There you go, we'll put you up there. And it's about 2 hours past dawn. We'll get to you in a second, Figrod, since you're up first and heading up there early. What about the rest of you? By about 8, I think you're all pretty much woken up. You going to gather at that little table together in the Rowdy Rockfish and wait for the others, or?
I mean, if that's what we normally do, that's what Cassandra
That's the
would do.
normal.
That's where Agatha would go.
Okay. How about you, Frey?
I'm going to go down there, but I'm not going to sit at that table.
Of course not.
I'll be
close
right
it.
next to it,
Okay.
but I'm not going to be at the table.
All right, it's a normal morning. There's about a half dozen people in there. You've all found your way at the little tables. You could smell the cooking bread and the morning ales. And you have yourself a little breakfast. Curious, you haven't seen Vigrad. But you've all gathered yourself. And feel free to make your plans. Decide what you want to do. And I'll get to you in a second, Vigrad. But the rest of you, make your plans. Decide what you're going to do. And we'll go from there.
I'm going to stay at my apartment. Actually, you know what? No, I'll head down to the Dawnflower Library because the idea would be to do my daily preparations and change my spells. So Althea is going to go to the Dawnflower and pray to Desna at the small shrine that she's accustomed to.
Gotcha. No problem. The rest of y'all gathered downstairs at the bottom of the Rowdy Rockfish. You got Cassandra, Frey, you're there at a separate table. Agatha, you make your way down the steps. See your fellow companions there.
She makes her way downstairs. She notices that Frey is not sitting at the table where everybody else is. And so...
to be fair, there's only one other person sitting down there right now, so...
And, actually, there was something that Agatha was going to do. After she gets downstairs, she glances over at Frey. She doesn't say anything to him. She just glances at him. She goes over to Cassandra, leans down, and she tells her that she's going to be making her way to the Druid Circle. And then as she's saying that to Cassandra, she's pulling out this vial of some kind of liquid that she doesn't know what it is. And she holds it in front of Cassandra, and she goes, I'm going to go find out what this is. If we're not here... Well, if I'm not here within probably 5 minutes, just wait for the everybody else and then come find me at the Druid Circle, okay?
So Cassandra nods and says she's happy to do it.
Alright, and then Agatha, again, she's not saying anything to Frey, walks out the door and she makes her way towards the Druid Circle.
I never let up eye contact on Agatha. I'm not staring, I'm blinking, but I'm watching her the entire time. Until she leaves.
All right, so it's Frey and Cassandra. You're the only ones left. If you'd like to do anything else, you can do so. I guess the idea is you're all going to meet back at the Rowdy Rockfish. So, you guys are early, I guess.
Yeah, so just wait.
All right, let's go to you, Vikrad. See what you're up to. It's dawn. The sun is fully in rise mode there, and by the time you get up to the Druid Circle, and you see a campfire that's no longer burning. You see some folks huddled up where they've been sleeping, close by. I don't think you've actually been here before, have you? No.
Not been there yet.
Yeah, what's on your mind? This is what you see when you get up there. Now, the stone circle, of course, it's these rocks, about 3 foot out of the ground. They form almost a complete circle, and they look like they have some type of writing inscribed on them. And close by to this, there's this little camp. You see about 5 or 6 people sleeping there. There's no one on watch or anything. Looks like it's like they've been living here for quite a while.
Okay. As Vegrod approaches those who are up and awake, he's gonna discreetly unclip his guard from his sword and approach. Good morning to you.
Who are you? Says one of them, props up from a bedroll on the ground.
Vegrod kind of cocks his head to the side. I'm a captain of the Northern Army. You are druids, or are you not?
I'm not a druid. I follow Gozra. Maybe some of the others are druids. I can't say. There was Whirlwind. He was known to be a druid, I think. He had funny powers. He could do some things. And he starts to get himself up out of the blanket, go over towards the fire. Will you be joining us this morning?
For
So
a moment.
Okay. And he gathers up some sticks like he's going to build a fire. And you see the other 2 others prop themselves up and rub their eyes. Humans. All rustic looking, and they got simple clothes. And they all greet you. And they get underway building up this fire.
Vegrod will sort of watch and keep an eye on him. He'll sort of speak up to the one that was talking to him. I had a few questions, if you might be so kind as to indulge me.
Sure thing.
Have you noticed anything different about this area recently? Anything dark, gloomy, felt any strange magics?
And as you ask this, he reaches from his backpack and he pulls out what looks like some hard tack meat. And he's chewing on it, and he's kind of letting the words you asked float around in his head as he builds this fire at the same time. And the others are gathering some wood. And then you see 2 more begin to wake up. The only thing I've noticed is the forests are more dangerous than they usually are. That and Whirlwind being missing. Strange, haven't seen him in days. other than that, no. I don't go off too far into the woods, at least past the edge. And it goes on to describe how guard patrols have been going up and down that path and in the woods for several days now, talking about missing hunters.
Yeah, Vigorod will sort of take in the information that he's given. As he notices the other two wake up, he's putting his hand on the pommel there. And he looks back to the one that was speaking to him. What about any new strangers around the campfire?
What was that, Kyle? Any new strangers around the campfire?
Yeah.
No, there hasn't been anyone. In fact, a lot of the folks that gather here, he explains, there's as many as maybe 24. But the past few days, they've all been wandering off. They all do their own things. Most of the folks, he explains, that come here at the circle don't go into Otari itself. Most of them don't. Kind of outcasted as they are from Otari. Since the big event years ago, which he doesn't explain. But yeah, folks have been disappearing and going off. You know, like Whirlwind, for example. There hasn't been many of us lately. We usually linger around here and we pay homage to nature, Gozra, sing songs, that sort of thing, but everyone seems to be leaving.
So you expect me to believe this is a peaceful circle?
Well, yes, there's nothing evil here. Say, you're not working for the Otari Guard, are you?
No. I'm a commander of the North. I've seen the destructive power of druids up close and personal.
Maybe you have. The druids around here aren't destructive. They're good.
I rather doubt that. But this Whirlwind, or whoever you were speaking of, any idea where he went, or a direction and where he was last seen?
Of course, Whirlwind was a gnome. He explains Whirlwind kind of like the one everybody looked to. You know, the one who always had kind words and was the most inviting and was the most dedicated. And knows the most about the event that occurred years ago with Yaul, his friend. And every night, Whirlwind would patrol the forest edges all the way up to the sea and linger for hours on end, kind of watching out for his friend, Yaul, who disappeared. Every night, he would do this, after the others would go to sleep. But days ago, Whirlwind didn't show up, and he's been missing. Some would say the wolves got him, or he found Yaul. But nobody knows. He hasn't showed back. That's when folks started to disappear. Without Whirlwind around as the center of this circle, you could say, people are losing their motivation to do so and hang out here, as it were. And he explains this. Whirlwind was a good person. In fact, he says that he'll be continuing to wait for him to return. Surely he'll be back. Probably walking the shore, perhaps. Who knows? But it's been days.
Seems I would need to direct my questions to this druid. I will keep an eye out for him if I see him upon my travels. Seems you are all innocent here after all. I thank you for your time.
Yeah, you notice none of them have any weapons. Unless you count a club as a weapon.
I do.
You do. And just about that time, coming up behind you, what does Grod see, Agatha?
As Agatha's coming up behind him, and once he starts to if he starts to turn, like getting prepped to get ready to go down the road, he would notice that Agatha would get rather close to the circle, but not step within. And then she would slowly get down on her knees and then drop to her hands, kind of bowing almost reverently, to almost like she's trying to show that she's no threat to the place, and she's hopefully built up enough credibility where they think that she's going to be a friend to them, maybe something like that.
Okay. You can join Grod and join in some friendly conversation. Unless there's something specific you're after, go ahead and make a nice little diplomacy check for me.
Okay.
This could be, blind.
Blind. Okay.
As you try and make an impression, as it were. And was there anything specific you wanted to find out, or?
She was going to find somebody that would hopefully explain to her what this vial of mysterious liquid that's within. She's never seen before. She's never tasted it. She hasn't smelled it. She doesn't know what it is, and she thought maybe if she came to them, maybe one of them might know exactly what it is.
Okay. They have no way of figuring that out. Is this something on your inventory sheet?
It is indeed.
Did you try and identify it and failed?
I haven't tried identifying it yet.
Do you want to do that now? Seems like you'd be the best one to identify it.
Well, I guess we can.
Yeah. Let's do that real quick.
And what am I rolling?
One of the 4 traditions. Let me look at it first.
Okay.
That's probably going to be arcane because that's your jam. That's your best skill. As long as you're trained in one of those traditions, you can make the check.
Well, it's either Arcana or Occultism. I'm highest trained in.
Unusual liquid?
Mm-hmm. Alright, let me see here.
Huh. Alright, wait a minute. I was wrong. I was wrong? Alright. To attempt to identify it, I want you to make a crafting check.
Crafting check, okay. Still blind?
Yes. I'm assuming you're skilled in it. Well, in this case, I'm going to give it to you. You got a nice natural 20. I shouldn't reveal that, but I did anyway, because it's fun. All right, so, yeah. You're able to identify this on your way. As you pull it out of your cloak and say, hey, could you help me with this? You start to get drawn into it and look at it yourself, and something clicks in your head. I know what this is. In mid-sentence, it dawns on you. Quite appropriately, this is an elixir of comprehension. Maybe you even tasted it, and it helps you identify it. Okay?
Okay.
I know that wasn't very dramatic, but let me reveal that for you. Get yourself some comprehension. Kicking into gear.
She is one who thirsts after knowledge, after all.
It's not opening. Mystification. Let's identify it for you. Boom. Okay, so there it is. It'll show up on your inventory. You can open that, read it, and see what it's all about. But yeah, there you go. All right. Anyway, let's get back down. While that's going on, we've got Althea here walking through the big doors of the Dawnflower Inn, doing your thing. What's going on, Althea?
Praying to my god.
You are.
Yes, my goddess.
Oh.
She's not doing anything out of the ordinary, although it's something she hasn't done in a very long time, but she's mixing her prepared spells, doing her daily preparations at the Dawnflower.
Okay, you can do that, no problem. Was there anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, you make your way back out of the place.
Okay.
No. While you're seated there, you hear a commotion out in the front. Now, you're down on the left wing in one of those little shrine alcoves. The one particular to Desna, in fact, is where you currently are. You hear a commotion out in the front. Having worked here, you know that's unusual. What do? It sounds noisy. It sounds like somebody's looking for somebody, although you can't recognize the words. But there's shouts.
I'd find whoever's closest and ask, what's going on? What's with all the shouts?
Okay, as you look around and say these words, you realize you're absolutely alone in this shrine, and your words echo off the walls.
I'm not crazy, right, Bentley? She moves his little mouse feet. Right, Althea? She speaks for him. Huh.
You peek down the hallway, and you can just make out the shapes in the distance of people and a commotion going on, but again, you can't hear them. Probably nothing.
She'd probably just kind of peek out, see if there's anything to see.
Do you want to go investigate?
Yeah, she's all done, so
Okay.
she'll wander the halls. Hello? Is everything okay?
All right, you make your way back down towards the library in the entrance area. And as you get closer, you hear the conversations and the voices being mentioned. You hear your name, Althea, mentioned. And just then, all the eyes look down the corridor and see you coming up this little corridor. Althea! Althea, come quick! Says one of the priestesses. And as you approach, this gentleman's looking for you and your friends. And you look over and you see a recognizable face. Someone you've seen before. An elderly guy. The caretaker at Meneme's Manor. Young Althea, there you are. Your friends, I don't know where they are, but you must come to the manor quickly. We're looking for you. Something is terribly wrong with the daughter of the mayor. I can't think of her name. Darn it.
I have somewhere in my notes.
Quick, grab the notes. Dolores or something. Doriana. Something is gravely wrong with
pretty
Doriana.
Far back in my notes.
Yeah.
Oh no! I will grab everybody if I can find them. And should we meet at the manor?
Yes, come quickly.
Right, we will be there quickly.
Okay.
I will act swiftly to find them.
All right, so you're going to go find your friends at the Rowdy Rockfish, I guess.
Yeah, she stops at the Rowdy Rockfish first.
Okay.
She kind of like pushes the doors in very quickly, kind of knocks it against the wall,
Okay.
and scans the room for the table where everyone's sitting, or
Alright.
where most of them are sitting.
All right, and this is where we're picking up the session from. 8 a.m. in the morning. This is where we are. Althea comes into the Rowdy Rockfish. Cassandra, you see her. Frey, you see the little gnome you've seen before come into the chamber. Agatha and Grad, you guys at this point are still up there. Do you want to continue the conversation?
No, they had
Agatha-
answered all of
Agatha
Vigrod's
would-
questions.
Okay. So whatever your plans are at that point, whether you're heading back or you're going to wait for your companions to arrive here, it's up to you. Do you want to head back?
Agatha would look at Vigorad and go, should we wait for them to come to us, or should we go to them at the Rowdy Rockfish?
Vegrod would reclip his sword on and look to Agatha. We agreed to meet at the tavern. I would assume they would be waiting for us there. And he would then turn and begin to head back down.
Okay. Until then, Althea, you make your entrance. You see Cassandra and Frey seated at the table near the front of the building, near that window.
You'll approach them and you say, I'm glad I caught you. If you have a moment, and I think maybe even if you don't, we should head up to the Menemy's Manor. There... Ooh, I forgot his name.
The mayor?
Not
Joseph?
the mayor. The guy that just came running through the door.
Oh, Alandro.
Yeah. Alondro, the gentleman that works at the manor, he just came down looking for us at the Dawnflower Library. I thought to come see if anyone was ready to go. I think we should help out. Something to do with the daughter.
So Cassandra gets up quickly and says she'll follow your lead. But wait. Where are the others? If we are all gone, they will not know where we are.
They're late. That's on them.
We'll leave note with whoever's running the bar today. Is it Berelda, or is that the other one?
Brelda hasn't been seen in a while, ever since the return of her brother that
her
you
brother?
rescued. But the one who's been
Well-
watching the place now is a gentleman, a bald, elderly guy named Casimir.
Casimir, I know you're just washing dishes, but could you relay a message for us? Might be more than what you've bargained for today, but I know you might be familiar with the other travelers, the other companions that have been trying to save Otari from the gauntlight. Tell them to go to the Menemy's Manor and tell them it is urgent.
Well, I surely will, young Althea. I'll make sure to tell them right away.
Thank you. And she leads the way out of the Rowdy Rockfish.
Have a good morning. As you make your exit. As soon as you get out the front of the building and get down the street and get to the bridge that you cross on the way to Menemy's Street, there you see, coming down the street, you see your friends, Agatha and Grad, whose name I cannot remember.
We're really great with names today.
It's terrible. It's
All right.
terrible. Good old
Sorry, we all
Casimir.
kind of know who everyone means, right?
Casimir and Landro, they're good ones. Okay.
But seeing the other ones, Vegrod would yell out, "Top of the morning to you!"
Cassandra looks at him quizzically because she's never heard that greeting before. She sort of looks up into the sky a little bit. Doesn't see anything that should be on top of the morning. And then she just says, "Greetings."
It's a figure of speech.
Hottie.
She's been having a rough time with the books because she normally learns by doing, and so she's never had to learn from a book before. She's having trouble. So when you say figure of speech, she just thinks you're talking about the way letters appear on a page. She said, but she does say, "It's good to see you. We are
You
being
as well."
summoned. We are being summoned to the mayor's house. Apparently, there's something wrong with his daughter."
Now,
She,
quick question. Would Agatha know the mayor's daughter since she's been around Otari for a while?
Probably not met her.
But she would have at least heard of her?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, they're well known. He has several daughters. The mayor does. He's pretty well known. He owns the lumber mills here. He's not someone you wouldn't know. Same with Frey, for sure. But I think the only ones who've actually met his daughter, Doriana, was Althea, Sheppy, possibly Cassandra. If you remember, she was the one, the eldest daughter, she was the one that gave you and showed you that brooch.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she was the one. When you needed to find those icons. But everybody else, you're all kind of like, what's going on here? We're going to the mayor's house. This ought to be interesting. What's this about? Of course, Sheppy isn't here, so Althea and Cassandra, you're kind of leading the way in this one. And you make your way up on top of the hill, which is on the top of the cliff edge. You can actually see the building where it's located, overlooking the town. You get up there, and for you, Max, I know you probably haven't been in this yet, but it's like a little gated mansion of a house. It's got beautiful gardens in the front. There's caretakers here and there. It's a beautiful sight, especially on this morning. And you make your way down this sidewalk to this big double-doored entryway in the building, and Althea raps on the door. And that quick, the door opens, and once again, you see Alandro, the guy you met before, Althea. "Oh, I'm glad you're here. Come in. Come in at once." And he brings you into this big, large entry foyer room with several hallways leading out of it. And to the north, right in front of you, is this bigger chamber. And that's where he takes you. And in there, you're immediately greeted by the mayor himself, Mayor Menemes. "Ah, you've arrived. It's about time. We were looking for you. My daughter is having terrible nightmares. You must see her at once."
Agatha, as soon as she hears the nightmare, she's gonna immediately bolt past the group and just run like blazes out after her towards the child.
You'll be led upstairs on the second floor to get to her room. And when you get in there, it's a very beautiful place. Beautiful pictures all over the walls. Paintings, chandelier in the center of this great building as you go up these steps to the floor where the bedrooms are. And not far from the top of the steps is this one doorway that you enter through. And there you see this elaborate bedroom, this huge bed. And there you see, sitting on the bed, you see Doriana. Doriana, where are you? Let me actually bring her token out. That way I can show you what she looks like. Because I don't think I showed you before. And all around her eyes, it's very dark. It looks like she hasn't slept in days. And she looks very frail, like she hasn't eaten in days. And the mayor explains, she hasn't been sleeping. Something about nightmares. She's been waking up constantly throughout the night. She's surrounded herself with her old toys. And as you look at the floor before her bed, you see all these old stuffed animals that I guess she played with when she was a child. They're all over the floor, and she's clutching this one in particular in her arms. It looks like a book in the picture, but imagine it's a stuffed griffin. A stuffed griffin. And she sits there on the bed, and she's kind of rocking, kind of staring at the floor. Oh, what am I to do? What am I to do? And this is what you see when you enter the room.
Okay. Agatha, after she removes her headpiece so people can actually see what she looks like underneath, she'll explain to the folks that she's not there to harm anybody. She heard nightmares, so she wanted to come check on the child, and offer a way that she could be of assistance to find out, maybe see what's plaguing the child.
You're going to converse with her?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and no, don't make any check for this.
Okay.
She seems conscious, she seems aware, and she'll answer your questions for you. But when you ask her about these nightmares and what's going on, and she says she constantly has them, she barely gets any sleep. The mayor can confirm this because it's keeping him up all the time. She's constantly waking up, and she hasn't had a decent sleep in days. She talks about someone she describes as the motley man, constantly appearing in her dreams and playing with her.
Agatha's... Go ahead.
And Dorian explains that the motley man is kind of like a protector of her in her dreams, whenever she sees him. And he always brings new toys to play with.
As soon as she says new toys, that sparks her interest, and very gently she asks the young girl, Can you describe to me what these toys are? Does he tell you why he's giving them to you?
Well, in her dreams, she's this motley man is always playing with her. He's joyful and very protective, and always brings a new toy for her. Little stuffed animals in her dream. And evidently this has caused Doriana to actually get out her toys, her old toys that she had, that she plays with. Although some of the toys, mentions the mayor, he doesn't remember ever getting for her. And for some reason, she's taken a fondness to this one that I don't remember ever her having before. This griffin, which she clutches so tight. Now, if any of you want to make a medicine check on her, might be a good idea. You can do that.
Are we all in this? Are we all in the same room?
I was going to say,
You're
is
all
everybody
in the same room.
Okay, so we all kind of just witnessed Agatha.
Yeah, you're
come
all
in,
part of
okay,
this.
we were all behind her. Yeah, I'd like to see if there's any physical ailments that I can recognize.
Okay.
Agatha would shift positions so Althea would take her place.
Okay, that would be a blind medicine check. To recall knowledge.
Should be on its way.
Can anybody attempt the medicine check if you're trained?
If you're trained, yes.
Did you learn anything?
I'd also like to recall knowledge to see if that name means anything to me. The Motley Man.
The Motley Man.
I've read a lot of books. Maybe there's something.
So Cassandra took a look when there was space.
crowding the poor girl. All right.
What do you make of this? Look at those bags under her eyes. It's never good to get, not enough sleep is never good.
Cassandra, Vigrad, Althea, you're looking at her, and after a while of examining her closely, you can tell there's nothing physically wrong with her. She just looks like she's really tired. And you all kind of agree magic is not at play here. She actually is quite healthy looking. Doesn't seem to really be anything wrong with her.
Well, the group is dealing with the child. Agatha is going to start looking at the toys, and she's going to try and see if she can detect any kind of dark magic on the toys, since she was listening to the child talk about them.
Okay, you could make a Arcana check or any of the 4 traditions if you want to really investigate that.
Okay.
You could also cast Detect Magic, but that won't tell you a specific location of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to take up a few toys and go ahead and give me whatever check you want to use that's a tradition that you're trained in.
First one I'm going to be attempting with is going to be occultism.
Okay. Only one check.
All
At a
right,
time.
then I'll go with occultism.
Okay. Do you want to keep doing that on a bunch of these toys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. While you're doing that, the others are examining the girl. And she sees you doing this, and she looks towards you, Agatha, and she says, "Oh, those are just my toys. I just wanted to bring them down and play with them again. Really, that's all that is."
Agatha's going to shoot a glance at Althea and kind of make a gesture, like kind of distract the child while I'm doing this, trying to draw her attention away from what I'm doing.
Okay.
And that's directed at Althea.
Okay.
Althea shoots you a look of like, what are you gonna do? Like eyebrows raised, face kind of like no, what you doing? What's this for?
Frey, you're at the doorway. You're watching this unfold. You can't help but notice all around you the wealth that you've helped protect as a member of the Guard. You'd never been
I actually wanted to talk to the dad while this was going on.
Well, you can do that. He's actually close by the door. He's right there.
Okay. How long has this been going on?
This has been happening for at least 3 nights now. She's not getting any sleep. I don't know
Do you
what
have
to
any
do.
strange visitors here?
No. No one.
Did you go anywhere strange? Did she go anywhere strange?
My daughters remain at home throughout the day, learning, being taught. No one new has entered the property.
Anything new at all within the 3 days? They seem to be looking at her toys. Did she get a new toy in the 3 days?
And he stops to think. Actually, now that I think about it, the last time, it was shortly after, and he looks over towards Althea and Agatha. Shortly after we gave you the brooch, that this happened.
Where did that brooch come from?
Well, the brooch was an icon, and he explains that one of the founders of the Rose Guard, the heroes that founded this town, they call their, I don't know how do you explain it, but they were all the founders of this city. One of them was named Otari, who died in the gauntlight fighting against Belcora, who they defeated. And after time went by, they took these things that symbolized who they were. Like for Otari, who was the rogue, they took his toolkit. The brooch was from a relative of the Menemeses, who was the cleric and helped found the village. Hers was that brooch. And they saved these individual items. There was 4 of them. The Dawnflower has the sword of the warrior. Menemes kept hold of the brooch, which belonged to his ancestor, and was kept in a museum. Part of this building here, this mansion, is actually a museum that folks can come through and see things like that. And I believe
Is that brooch?
the brooch was given to you, Althea.
Yes. And
You actually own them.
do we hear this conversation Frey's having with the dad, or are they like pulled aside?
That's up to Frey, if he's whispering or keeping
No,
quiet.
I'm not whispering. I'm just standing there. I think this is ridiculous. Some girl's got nightmares and we're worried about it. I don't care. But I'm making small talk with him since I was a guard. I can I can ask some probing questions and so forth. So no, I'm not making any attempt to hide this.
All right. Well, after hearing the brooch, Althea speaks up and says, I don't know anything about curses or anything of the sort, but maybe that brooch was protecting her, and now that it is not here anymore and not in her presence, whatever curse is now taking hold. This is extremely unfortunate because I gave that brooch to Arthurian, who's still in the gauntlight.
It's missing.
I shrug my shoulders and walk about 3 steps away.
Agatha's still going through the toys, but now her intrigue is caught after hearing Althea talk about the brooch and a possible purse, and her search on the toys has just kicked up a notch.
What sort of curse do you think is at play out there?
Well, she reiterates, I don't know if for a fact if it's a curse. But sometimes, in some of the possibly fictional books I've read, they can be bound to people or to a lineage of families, perhaps. Is she the only daughter?
Just 2 more.
Is she the youngest?
She's the eldest.
Oh, firstborn daughter.
There it is.
There it is. It could have been just a curse placed on the family from Belcora, and the brooch was protecting her. This is all just theoretical. And I asked, but I don't know if I can actually do it, but can I try recall knowledge on that name?
Yeah, did you do that or no? Go ahead and make it. What are you using? Lore, a lore specific would be appropriate. I doubt you have it. Otherwise, you'd use
I have academia.
society.
All
Society.
right. I'm like, if it's a person, then probably society. All right. It's out there.
Sounds a little like several different names you've heard or come across before, but no, this is not something you've heard specifically.
Would Agatha have heard about it?
Go ahead and make a check. Rattle that noggin of yours.
Alright, going to do recall
Ish.
knowledge.
Yeah, Althea will ask the others. Does the name sound familiar to anybody? It's almost as if it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember.
Just make a
Yeah, well-
society check. Everybody can make a
Society.
society check. Skill. Let's see if that name rings a bell. Come across it at all.
+1. Here we go.
That's what I had too. You could do it, Cassandra.
Sorry, I thought I changed it to private. It didn't
It's
stick.
okay. This name none of you have ever heard before. Doesn't ring any bells.
Can I try to take the griffin a toy away from her?
You can.
Does she react? Like, I don't, like,
She-
snatch it. I mean, like, I just grab it as if I'm like, oh, let me see.
Do you want to play with it too? And the one thing that strikes you when she says that, she seems pretty old to be playing with toys.
Yeah.
She's in her teens. But seems unusual.
Fritz, this is going to be weird, but I'd like Cassandra to do a sense motive on to see if this is actually her talking. If there's some sort of deception going on here.
Okay. What is that, perception?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a blind perception. See if you pick up on something. From what you can tell, it just makes sense. You don't sense her being deceptive at all. It just seems like this is how she would be. And she seems like, yeah, she's being honest about these dreams and nightmares and what she's encountering.
Okay. I was just the perception was more about to see if she was possessed and something didn't know how to properly portray a teenage girl as opposed to a younger child.
No, nothing like that. Seems pretty
Okay.
normal. The way she's acting.
Would
Where's-
Agatha be picking up anything from the toys? Sorry, Althea, I didn't mean to cut you in.
Oh, I was just going to say, where's Sheppy in Detect Magic when you need him?
He disappeared. He's under the pier drunk or something.
Sheppy!
Agatha, nothing clicks for you. None of these items look or feel magical or cursed or whatever. They just look like normal stuffed animals. Old ones.
You know what? Althea's getting nervous. She looks underneath her bed. The child's bed.
Imagine a monster really was there.
He gets pulled under.
She gets pulled over.
You hear screams, muffled
she's-
noise, and feet disappearing.
She's very unsettled. You know, somebody having bad dreams is almost personal now.
Okay, go ahead and
And-
make a blind occult roll. Trust me.
And if I failed that, I will use a hero point.
Perhaps the Dawnflower could offer assistance in this.
You don't notice anything unusual under the bed. In fact, there's nothing under it. There's not even any cobwebs or dust. It's quite clean. And by the way, she doesn't resist when you take that little griffin from her.
I'm still holding it too as I peer underneath the bed.
She's watching you.
Does she question what I'm doing at all?
No, she just looks really tired.
After Agatha puts the toys down, she's gonna look around the room, and this time now she's gonna try and see if she can detect any kind of magic in the area,
How
if it's
s-
allowed.
How so?
To see if
Using
there's
magic?
Yeah.
Detect magic?
Mm-hmm.
You let that baby go off, and you definitely feel the ping of magic that you've never felt before.
How intense is it that Agatha can feel it?
Pretty intense. It's all over you.
Man, I'm so upset. I just changed my spells and I almost took Dispel.
Agatha's. She's gonna make her way over to Vigrid.
Keep in mind,
Nonchalantly.
after making those medicine checks you made earlier, she seems to be in perfect physical condition except for lacking sleep. There doesn't seem to be any magic at play here. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just very tired, and probably because of the nightmares. That and the fact that she's acting unusual with the toys and, that kind of thing. But otherwise, she seems to be all right. Albeit tired and exhausted.
Agatha is going to nonchalantly tug Vigrid outside, and she's gonna take him over to Frey. Very, very casually, she's gonna look at both of them and go, do me a favor, start going through the entire house and see if there is something unusual that sticks out. Because there is something here that I'm picking up that is arcane, but I cannot understand where it is coming from.
It's a house and a museum. Everything
It's a
sticks
museum
out.
that doesn't make the search any easier. Why not just ask the mayor? Search
I
the
could-
museum for a museum-held object.
Agatha's gonna turn and make her way back towards the mayor, and she goes, within the last 3 days, have you received any kind of odd item? Any kind of maybe an artifact that somebody had maybe talked loudly about? Maybe something that people thought was interesting brought to you, possibly going to the museum? Anything of that sort?
Nobody, and nothing that the mayor knows of. But of course, people come and go throughout here. People come into the museum all the time. Not a lot of people, but they get occasional
Cleaning staff
people.
find anything weird?
Cleaning staff go in and out, cleaning everything, and nothing's been reported.
You mind if I take a search through the museum?
Who might you be, anyway? I've never seen you before.
One of the new additions, Vegrod. And
This-
he
this-
would offer a hand.
This other one behind you, and he looks towards Frey. Who would he be?
That's
had a
just
tou-
Frey.
I had a tour of the place a year ago when I first joined the guard. You weren't here.
I could tell by your tabard you worked for the Otari Guard.
Yes, I should probably get rid of that tabard.
I guess you don't work for them no more. I see. And he looks back towards you, Althea. He says, are these the newest members of your group, the companions?
Yes, you could say that.
Seems the town owes you even more money. I believe we owe you, don't we? He looks at you, Althea. It's been about a month since the attack, and if you recall, you were going to be paid 50 gold pieces to make sure those attacks don't happen again.
That is true.
So yeah.
But I assumed, or Althea assumed, that the payment would come at the end when they're victorious and everybody can rest easy.
Well, it seems that is the case, Althea. Would it not? There has
I
been no
believe it
attacks. The gauntlight has not been lit. The dead have not risen. But if you
That
wish
may
to
be
continue
true.
the search, you do so.
Well,
I would. I do not feel my own personal satisfaction on the job we've done. I wouldn't be able to accept it.
You all hear this conversation.
Evil still stirs. Threat's not done.
I see. Well, I appreciate that. If you intend to go back in, I hope you do so and continue putting an end to this, but I feel it is nigh that we should pay you something soon.
And someone escort me to this museum so I can examine it.
Why, yes. And he looks towards Alandra. And by the
Agatha,
way, will need your names in the books if you are members of the companions. We will need to put your names in the book. That's basically how they know who to pay.
I'm Vegrod. Good to meet you. And he's going to look to the guide. Lead on.
And what would your name be? And he looks towards you, Frey.
Companion, huh? Frey,
Frey.
with an F.
Add their names, and he looks to another servant.
Agatha's gonna tag along with Frey and Vigrid.
Okay. All right, and you follow Alandro down. You get down the steps, make a right into this smaller chamber from this big main room with the steps. And you're led into another hallway that reaches some double doors which open, and inside you see this spectacular room with a very high roof. It's essentially the left wing of this mansion. It's just dedicated to the history of Otari itself. And he can lead you through there. While this is going on, Althea, you're all alone up there with Cassandra, caretaking the daughter, Doriana.
So Cassandra whispers to Althea, if it is true there is some force impeding her sleep, and she looks around at all the toys and everything, it may be important to isolate her for a night or two. A room devoid of anything else.
I think you're on to something, Cassandra. Perhaps she might get some sleep in the protection of the Dawnflower Library. I'm sure they can set something up. Perhaps perform rituals of their own for protection.
And the mayor steps in. The mayor steps
Surely
in.
the mayor has no issues with this. It is for the best of his daughter.
You plan to take her away?
With her interests at heart, her best interests.
I'm not sure she would sleep that well being somewhere else. But if you think it's best, Althea.
Yes. We'll lay her next to the shrine of Desna. Provide her some comforts of home. Maybe.
And she
The library is good. I found the books there to have great sleep-inducing powers.
Althea shoots Cassandra a look. I think they are very informative and interesting books.
So she
But it
nods.
isn't-
She doesn't understand she said anything wrong. She just says they lack pictures.
Walls of text. Walls. All right, after some little back and forth, you convince the mayor that it's probably in her best interest to be looked after at the Dawnflower Temple. They do actually have beds and rooms in there, for the injured and sick and ill and that kind of thing. So, they would take good care of her. He knows this. And he trusts the Dawnflower. And under your care, Althea and Cassandra, he agrees to do that if it's best for her. And Doriana immediately overhears this. Oh, but Father, what about all my toys? And she looks at all the toys. They will come with you. Don't worry about it. Oh, yes. And she grabs hold of the little griffin and squeezes it tight that she ripped from your hands, Althea, because you tried to get away with it. Yeah. So,
Althea stops her and tries to rip the toy back, almost like she's fighting it.
all right, it's a back and forth. It takes some time. Make an athletics check.
Wow, she's a strong young woman.
No check.
Also towers me, I'm sure, even at her age.
You do want to play.
Althea holds on to the toy. Perhaps it is best these stay in your room. Big girls can sleep 1 or 2 nights away from it all.
I must have my toys. Let me at least have the griffin.
She's trying to reason with her as an adult might a child. Oh no, Griffin's injured and if I need to make a diplomacy check, let me know. Griffin here is injured and needs to go to the infirmary.
Well, no, he's not.
I'm-
I can't. I won't go. And she looks to her father. Says, "Father, I will not go. I need my toys with me, especially this one." And she points at the griffin.
And I explain to, I maybe, shoot a look towards the mayor. And if he, asks anything, then I'll try to, tell him on the side what I'm planning.
Okay, make me a quick.
Cassandra doesn't understand and she just looks at the mayor and says, "This is concerning behavior."
It is indeed.
From me or the woman?
No, the kid. The
Okay.
kid.
Go ahead and give me a 1 diplomacy check blind, Althea. How convincing you might be in this case. We'll see.
You're talking to Althea, presumably?
Yeah. And the mayor listens intently at what you're saying. He says, "You're right. You're right. She needs to be without these toys. Come." And he reaches over to take the griffin away. "You get some sleep tonight. If you need toys in the morning, we'll bring them. But tonight, there will be no toys. You will go to the temple." He kind of commands her at this point, and she goes quiet.
Whoa.
Kind of leans down, looking at the floor.
Get that parental voice out.
Yeah. Basically, do as you must. So if you want to do that, if you want to take her to the Dawnflower, you can do that. Leave the toys behind. And, yeah. Okay? In the meantime, we've got some explorers in the museum.
What's the name of this guy that we're following?
Alandro.
Alondra?
Oh, we're following him. Okay, so that makes sense that he's sending him out.
Althea, are you going to join them as they do this, or are you going to head to the temple with the daughter?
She'll head to the temple with the girl.
You could
Cassandra
wait.
goes too.
You could wait for the others to come back. Any way you want to do this.
Where are you guys going again?
We're
Museum.
exploring. Yeah, exploring the museum.
Okay, yeah. Althea, she'd go. She'd feel like she's now involved.
A sleuth.
She'll put the griffin stuffed toy in her bag. Discreetly. Once they've left, she'll kind of put it in her bag. And I swear, if I go to jail because I took a little kid's stuffed toy.
She sees you do this. And you can see she's kind of crying. But she's remaining quiet.
Okay.
Now do you go to join the others? In the museum?
Actually, I just had an idea. Would Agatha watch the child start to be escorted out?
Well, I don't know what you're doing. Althea's up in the room with the daughter and Cassandra. I don't know if they're leaving now to the temple or they're going to come join you and leave the daughter behind. I'll assume you're going to join the others in the museum. Althea, Cassandra.
I guess so.
I guess to keep the party together, but Althea has no interest in seeing the museum. She's already been down there.
Okay. Just so as long as I know where you are. Because I'm going to go to the museum folks here. Now,
Okay.
Alandra leads you through these long aisles. There's about 6 of them. Wide aisles, about 20 foot wide each. And each one's got these glass tables that you can look in and see all these different things. And Agatha, you join at this point, and your detect magic, which I assume you have going, definitely pings It has pinged since you came down the steps and followed them into this chamber. It is not lit up. And Alondro explains that some of these items actually have enchantments and have protections around them as well. You're seeing all kinds of things. Now, it doesn't look like there's any weapons here, although you see a dagger occasionally that have some importance to the history of Otari. Things like that. There's a lot of things, just odd things, that would only be of value to people here in Otari. But nothing new has been brought in. There's nothing out of place. And if you'd all like to make blind perception rolls to maybe catch something that just seems odd, you can do that if you want to do that. If you're paying attention, go ahead and make a blind check.
I'd also like to ask a question once this is...
And Althea, if once you join them, and Cassandra,
come on.
you can make these rolls too if you want. Just
Mine's already in.
Just anything out
I
of
guess
place.
I'll roll. As I head down with Cassandra, I just casually talk to her. So I wonder, maybe the effects of the gauntlight aren't always seen.
Got it.
So she seems to take that very seriously, and so you feel this Belcora can attack through dreams.
I don't see
Interesting.
why she wouldn't be able to. She seems awfully powerful, or whoever is at fault, because they still don't exactly like. Althea's still not totally convinced it's Belcora who's back, because
Right.
everyone she's spoken with has said, "Oh, Belcora, what?" And there's other people that might be at play, especially like an old lover.
So-
Althea's just nodding, like, yes. The gauntlight has done. It has raised the dead from the ground. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to reach into the mind of the children in Otari.
This would be a difficult battlefield to engage the enemy in. I hope you are wrong.
As do I.
Frey,
But I will pray upon. I will pray on this.
Frey, did you make your check?
Yeah, I see what I did wrong. I'll re-roll it. I was clicking private, not blind GM roll.
Oh, I see your roll. You don't have to if you don't. I didn't think you rolled. I got it. I didn't see it. Agatha, when you come into this chamber, there's something that catches your eye behind a piece of glass. Something that rings a bell. Something you have seen before. It is a claw. A claw of some primate of... you don't know. But it's got the 5 digits. And it's grasping into a fist shape. And it's just like from the elbow down. That's all this is. It's hairy. It looks shriveled and dried. And it's kind of locked into place behind this glass. There's like a big metal ring around near the one end of it and towards the wrist. And it's just locked in place. You've seen this before. This is something you have heard about. It's a cursed item. One with a dark past and a dark history. One that grants great power and wisdom to one who wields it. Yet it's cursed. Because what you ask for is not necessarily what you get.
Agatha's gonna start making her way towards the artifact in question. Her eyes is like locked onto it, and
just as you
how
do that
intense-
and approach this item, Alondro immediately sees you do this, and he stops the group as you walk through this place. Don't go near that, please. Keep your distance. You will not need to want to get too close to that. It has got a storied past.
What is that story?
It is not for me to explain. This isn't the place either. But it is kept here because of the mayor's wishes. And if it was up to me, it would be buried under the ground far away. But that is something you don't want to get too close to. Trust me.
Is this not a museum artifact?
It
Do
is
people not
currently.
come through here to look at these and ask for explanations of these items?
There is no need to ask anything. To look is one thing, to ask is another. Now come. And he starts walking off away from the item. Do you follow Agatha? Or do you continue to stare?
Agatha remains.
Okay. What about you, Frey?
Yeah. I'm gonna actually start making some, well, not small talk with him. I'm just gonna start talking. As he pulls us away, I'll walk with him. I don't care what the other two do.
Okay.
But I'm gonna ask. So, question: are there any stories? Since obviously you don't want to tell me that story about the this house or this family being cursed, even if those stories are in jest.
Sorry. He could go on and explain a little bit about the Minimes family, and some of these details might be just rumors to you. I don't think you'd know a whole lot. You haven't been here that long, but he goes into the history of the family and how the town was founded by the cleric of the group, of the Rose Guard, the ones that defeated Belcora. And he goes on to talk about how shortly after its founding, the place was overrun with kobolds and burned down to the ground, in fact. But it was raised again many years later. Now the Rose Guard in Belcora, those events took place 500 years previous. All those events.
And the same family runs the city?
And the Minimes family, yes, still. And the mayors
There's
are
no
elected.
family that's 500 years or older that doesn't have some sort of sordid tale, we'll say. So I'm going to try to guide him in that direction. Like anytime he says anything interesting that sounds like it could be some sort of sordid tale, I'm encouraging that. Anytime he gets boring with stupid historical facts that nobody cares about, I'm
Okay.
nudging him back into the story.
Okay, give me a blind diplomacy just for good order here. See how good you are at that.
Seeing Agatha move away, Vigorod will approach her. What have you found? Is this the object?
Are you hovering around that big claw? With Agatha?
He sees Agatha's intent with it.
Okay. Yeah, you get back towards Agatha. And she seems transfixed on this item. Because she's seen it before. At least in her mind, she thinks she's seen this before. And you would recall that this, like I said, it's a cursed item of great power. It brings harm to anyone who uses it, but only under certain circumstances. It has something to do with the one who possesses it and touches it will never let it go. And it's that person alone that suffers the curse. And it's that person alone that reaps the rewards. That you know. Or you think you know. Might be something else, but in your mind, that's
Foul
what it is.
artifact indeed.
Yeah. And as you look at it, Grod, you can see how it's like bolted to the inside of this case on the table that it sets on. It's like bolted in place by these rings, these iron rings. Like if you wanted to, you'd break through the glass and try and pull it, it'd probably be extremely difficult, assuming there's no magical protections involved. It would be difficult anyway. But there's nothing else around it, no description, no anything. Anyway, that's what Agatha says. As far as your conversation goes, Frey, you try as you must, but he just, the only stuff you can get from him is just this brief history of the family. And perhaps there is some things here and there, but nothing major. There's never been anything. But briefly, he does mention how there's a lot of angst. Not a lot of angst, a lot of, what's the proper word here? The mayor holds a lot of power in town. The mayor is elected to his position, and there's many others in this town who have vied and challenged him to be that mayor, but they always lose. And Alondro kind of entertains a little bit with you the idea that, maybe there's something going on that keeps him in power. Yes, he's the owner of the biggest and most powerful lumber mill in town. Yes, his ancestor was one of the Rose Guard and founded the town. But his family has been in control of this town ever since it began. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of bitter folks, one of which, well, you wouldn't know that. But yeah, he does entertain that little conversation with you briefly, but quickly goes a different direction as he points out yet something interesting here, behind this glass here. And here is this cape that was worn by so-and-so. And he just goes on about describing that. That's where your conversation is at.
As he's talking and we're doing that, obviously I'm going to be interested in what he said there, but I'm going to continue to walk him out the direction he wanted us to go in. Well, wanted all of us to go in, but only I'm going in right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep leading him that way. If he stops, I'm going to take a couple of steps like, hey, you asked us to go out. I'm going to keep walking that way. And if I have to, I will ask him another question and keep him a little busy.
So, are you? What are you trying to do?
I want to give Agatha and Vigrod time to do what they need to do over there.
Kind of like a little distraction.
Yes.
That's what I thought he was trying to do.
He's playing time.
Ingenious.
Make a perception check to see if you notice. No. Cassandra and Althea, where are you two while this is going on? Kind of pulled away from Elandro? Or are you following behind with Frey and Elandro, listening in? Or what? Because you got Elandro and Frey, they're walking down the aisles here. And you've got Grod and Agatha up here by this item that's behind the glass. Where are you two?
I guess I'll be with Althea. And I was with Althea. I'm guessing maybe with Agatha and Vigard.
Okay, so you're all kind of hovering there. And Althea, you two, or? Althea, are you there?
Maybe I'm mute.
No, she's not muted. Uh-oh. She ran back up to the room.
The cat's playing right now.
We'll take a break shortly here. But, yeah, this is the situation. Frey, you can distract them. Now, Grod and Kyle, you're looking at this. What else would you want to do?
Would Agatha notice that Frey's intentionally trying to lead the guy away?
Well, it's what's happening. Whether it's intentional or not, you'd probably have to make a check. And they're kind of out of sight as they round a corner. But all you know is that he's not around.
Perfect.
Okay.
Agatha is going to attempt to open the case. Just to see if there's any kind of locking mechanism.
I don't think that's very wise.
Do you go through with it?
She continues.
It's very heavy. It's very big. It's only a small part of this larger thing here. This isn't a separate item from anything else. It's got a separate little box area, but, you know, there's other things along it. And there's nothing that you can identify that would allow you easy access unless it's on the back or underneath. Maybe if you look under the compartment. At this stage, you're going to have to make a perception check, blind.
Okay.
As you start to search around and looking for something, because there's nothing obvious. So this will take a little skill on your part. There is this cloth drape that's all around the base of this long glass table, which is probably about 10 feet in length. And this is in the center of it. But there's this cloth drape of about 1.5 feet from the floor that goes all the way around it. And as you look underneath there and try and look for any kind of levers or switches, how did they open this thing? You don't see anything. However, as you get to the back of it, you can see there is a small latch where the glass meets the glass, right above the cloth. All right? Like as if you pull that latch, you might be able to lift the glass that's in the back up.
Okay.
You don't see any hinges, but it looks that way. Do you pull it?
She does.
All right, you hear feet coming in your direction. It's coming from where Frey was. Do you go through with it?
Agatha's going to look at either Cassandra and Vigrid. And she's going to go, if that's somebody coming towards us, go distract them, please.
Okay. You slide the latch as they make their way off. You slide the latch, and it goes click, and you feel the glass come out where there's an edge that you could just reach under with your fingers, and it looks like indeed you can pull this up, although you don't see any hinges.
Okay.
You do so?
I do.
You do so. And as it goes up to the top and you can lay it down on the top of the surface, it's right in front of you. It's easy to grab. Do you do so? It's right there. Do it,
Is this thing
Reach
bolted
for it,
down?
Agatha. Take it.
Is it bolted down, though?
You
'Cause
feel
made
compelled to grab it, Agatha. Your hand begins to reach towards it, with no control of your own. Slowly your hand is moving closer and closer towards this ghastly appendage, or what's left of it. Do you go for it? Quickly.
She does.
Make a savings throw versus will.
Okay.
This is a will save. I know you're willingly doing this, but I want you to make a will save. Not to resist. Your hand glides effortlessly towards it. Your fingers feel the hairs on this arm. As you begin to wrap tightly, slowly, you wrap tightly around where it would be the forearm of this paw. You would swear that the very fingers of this paw begin to loosen, as if to open. And as you go to pull it back close to you, it doesn't move. It's bolted in place and it doesn't give. You could feel a beat between your fingers and the flesh of whatever this was. There's like a pulsing beat inside of it, and you can feel it. You can feel it, Agatha. You must have it. It's yours. And you begin to pull harder and harder until eventually the actual case that this sets within slowly begins to rock. Cassandra, you see this. I'm assuming you stayed there?
I did.
Cassandra is rocking and pulling on whatever is in this cabinet, and you're looking at her.
Agatha.
She seems almost possessed at this stage. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab her and pull her off.
And you're going to resist Agatha. Go ahead, Cassandra, make an athletics check to grab her as she tries to resist you and fend you off. She's pulling on this. It's mine.
Ooh, that's awful.
That is awful.
Just trying to see if I'm gonna hero point that.
Make up your mind. Here it is.
What the hell?
Go for it. What's your athletics DC?
My athletics DC?
Not yours, not yours. Sorry, Agatha. 10 plus your athletics bonus. What is it?
Let me take a look. Where would I find that at?
Just look at your skills.
Plus 13. So 23.
Plus 13 athletics?
Yeah. That is pretty that is pretty high.
That's really high.
You sure you're looking at the right one? What?
Yeah. No,
It's plus 3.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm like,
Whoopsie.
Agatha, how come you haven't been front line just punching them?
So 13. So Cassandra, you easily grab a hold of her, but there is some resistance, unnatural resistance, as you try and pull her away from this, whatever she's grabbing. You can do so. And she does pull free. She's no longer grabbing at it. And when you look into her face, as pale and hidden away as it is, you can't see the pupils in her eyes. For a moment, they're glazed over. You've seen her eyes before. But for that brief moment, her eyes were glazed over. And Agatha, in your mind right now, it's just a cloudy mess. All you saw was that hand. And you still see it. And it's slowly, the image of this hand in your possession begins to fade from your eyesight, begins to fade from your view, until eventually you see the face of Cassandra in front of you.
Forgive me for laying hands on you, but I did not think looking over at the item
You guys are
that
terrible.
was healthy.
You guys are terrible.
What do you mean?
Look what you're doing inside of a museum here. This is terrible.
I stopped her from doing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. You did the good thing.
So I apologize if... And then she just stands up straight and she says, if you wish to strike me to balance things out, I understand.
Agatha's gonna shake her head for a minute and blink. She's gonna look around. She's gonna look at Cassandra. She's gonna look at Vigron. She's gonna go, we need to get that artifact out of here. We need to get it out. And she says it with such intensity, not like she's trying to keep the hand, but in a more urgency way of like saying, that thing needs to go.
Perhaps we're not equipped to, but maybe Rinsavixie is. As for the mayor, she's got a position here in town as at least a store owner. Maybe she'd be willing to help.
Or if nothing else, then remove the object.
Exactly.
You're not there.
She out there hears the voice of reason of Vigrod.
Wait a minute, Althea, you're with Vigrod. That's right. You're with Vigrod. You don't know what's going on. You don't know anything that's happening with this hand and Agatha. You don't see it. Although, as you head back in the direction towards where Agatha was and Cassandra, you do hear some commotion as you get closer and closer, but you're out of sight of it currently. And it's just then that Alondro stops as if to listen. Those fools. And he immediately starts heading back towards the glass area where Agatha currently is.
I grab him.
He resists, so go ahead and make an athletics check. This is public. Okay, 29. You have no problem holding on to him. Let me go. They can't be near that paw.
Hold on, we'll go together. It could be dangerous.
And he continues to try to pull away from you. But you have him.
I'm I'm like a little kid letting him pull me, but he's not going any faster than I let him.
Okay. So you slowly start working your way back.
I unsheath my sword, but I don't threaten him with it. It's obvious in a position in case there's something weird going on.
Okay.
Make it very clear the sword is not about him.
Okay, be careful with that. Law breaking. You're supposed to keep your swords tethered, so that you can't just draw them. You would know this is Otari guard.
Oh.
So there is that.
Oh, well, if I would have known that as a guard, then I will not do that.
You would know that.
Okay. Then, okay, it's just me. That's fine. I can punch.
Unless you have a dagger.
No, I jammed it in a door in that stupid dungeon.
That's right, you did. Left it behind. Okay, so you're slowly making your way back. He's pulling. You let me go. What are you doing? And his voice begins to raise.
Slowly.
And you can hear them coming, Agatha and Cassandra. And you hear the voice of Alondro.
Agatha's gonna go into not panic mode, but she's going to start moving around rapidly, trying to find a latch or something that's holding this thing down.
Halt! What is going on up there?
Hey, God, stop him!
You basically...
I'm not up there.
There doesn't look like any way to get it off. It's bolted to a solid slab of stone.
Do I have a dagger or something?
You're asking me if you have a dagger?
Oh, perfect.
I'm giving you a few seconds here before they arrive. Come on.
Okay, Agatha's gonna take out her dagger, and then she's gonna start checking certain points on the limb to see if there's any weak points that she can potentially cut through.
You begin poking this fleshy, dried up flesh, and it seems like it's solid. It's like a solid hunk of wood. Or, yeah, it's just a solid piece there. There's no way you could pry it from the rings. The rings.
I don't know what's going on with them, Fritz. But as we're getting closer, one of the things when it seems like we're getting to the point, whatever they're doing up there is going to get discovered. I'm going to make it seem like his fighting to pull away is working a little better than it actually is, and I'm going to accidentally fall and tackle him.
Okay. All right, you can do that. He's not a strong fellow, so you wouldn't have too much difficulty with
he's
that.
going to think he is today.
Gotcha. So you're as much as you can. You're keeping him away from Agatha and whatever she's doing.
Yeah, we're moving slowly. I actually said, halt, what's going on up there? I will stomp on the floor if I have to make more noise so that she knows, well, whoever the heck's up there, everybody that's up there knows where we are.
Okay. And
she'll know how much time she has left.
What about you, Althea, and you, Grod? You see this happening with Frey. What are you two doing?
Seeing the fall down, Vegrod will come over and he'll kind of play along like he's trying to get Frey off of him, but really he's also helping Frey hold him down.
Okay. All right, Althea.
Y'all crazy.
Yep. Oh, Frey, quit squirming. Move your foot that way.
Oh, he's a quick little bugger.
This poor guy.
Stronger than he looks. Be careful. Just trying to keep him back so he doesn't hurt himself.
I guess Althea would believe that. But
How
she
did you ever get so entangled here?
Right foot blue.
You're seeing all this,
this
Althea.
isn't a game.
You're seeing this. What do you do?
She's actually gonna sit back. Not like literally sit, but she's standing back.
Just watching. Okay.
Yeah, not wanting to be a part of it, but also not stopping it.
All right. Let's return to Agatha. You're poking at this thing with a knife. It doesn't look like there's any way to get through this. Cassandra's watching you, kind of saying, be careful. Actually, Cassandra, are you letting her do this?
Cassandra, this is out of her wheelhouse, and so she's just watching her do this. A little bit of a concerned look on her face, but like, all right, this is your thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm letting her.
All right, as you're stabbing with this, you begin to hear this commotion in the background behind you, Agatha, but it means nothing to you. As you poking away, you suddenly freeze for a second, and you let the knife drop. And your hands begin to move towards this arm again, closer to where the fist is. And suddenly, the hand begins to open. Now, Cassandra, you see this. You see these fingers open. And it kind of reaches back as her hand moves towards these fingers, and it suddenly grabs her. It's holding on to her, holding on to Agatha's hand. Are you resisting, Agatha? Are you trying to pull away?
No, if anything, she's trying to get she's trying to get it out. She's trying to get the hand like out of the restraint.
Okay. Go ahead and make another will savings throw.
Okay.
At last, Agatha. It is ours. And the clasping hand around yours softens. And you feel it lightly pull out from the rings. You feel it slide out one and then out the second. And you begin to pull it towards your body. Cassandra, you see this. And with your second hand, Agatha, you grab tight. You hold this hand, this claw, this paw close to your body. You turn to look about yourself and you see Cassandra. Cassandra, you see her eyes are glazed white. It's very unusual, very strange, quite concerning actually. And Agatha, as you have this hand within your clutches, you instinctively begin to slide it under your robes and hold it close to your body, out of sight. And then suddenly your pupils return. Cassandra, you see this. You've managed to get yourself aware at this point, Agatha. You see what you've done. You've taken the hand. It feels good. It's yours. It's no one else's. It's yours. It can only be yours. It was meant to be yours. And you have it at last. And it's tucked away in your robes. You feel much more comfortable now. The world is as it should be. What do you do, Agatha?
Agatha's gonna look up at Cassandra and seeing how she now is able to see her clearly, she's able to see what's going on around them. She tries to find a replica or something very similar to what was already in that case
There's
to try
nothing
and
like it. This was a highly
Okay.
unusual item you've seen here. There's nothing like a claw anywhere. And just as you're thinking this, you hear a crash behind you, very close, maybe 15, 20 feet behind you. You hear the voices of your friend Grad and Frey and this Alandro. What are you doing? Let me go. As a knee crushes his jaw, pushing him against the floor. That's what it sounds like anyway.
Oh, sorry.
But you definitely hear a commotion.
Help him up. Make sure he's okay.
Throw your leg over, Frey. I can't get him up.
My armor.
You hear
Agatha
this.
is going to. Okay, Agatha is going to go over Cassandra and she's going to take her hand. She's still showing that she's in full control of herself. And then she's going to try and usher them both out of the room. Almost as if nothing had happened.
All right, you're going to make a quick, hasty
Oh.
retreat.
Okay, sure.
All right. Agatha's leading the way. What are you going out? The front door? There's people around. As you get closer towards the exit,
She's going to try and find a back exit.
you're where you are now. You can leave the museum area. There's this long hallway. There's no doors. At the end of that hallway is that big area with the steps going up to the bedrooms. When you get to that area, that big area with the steps, there's at least two more servants that you can see. One is upstairs near where the child's room was, and one is down below. And that second one below turns abruptly to see you, welcoming you. Where she stands, that's the direction of the exit. You have no clue where any other exits are, but you recognize that's where you came in. There's another room beyond that, and then the exit. Do you want to attempt to go that direction out the exit? You don't see any other doors leading outside. You
She's
see-
going to attempt to yes.
All right, you can do that. And it's like nothing's wrong. You make your way hastily past, Cassandra following closely behind you, and you see the main entry, and you see another servant who says, "Oh, well met, my friends. Are you going so soon?"
Agatha smiles sadly, almost like a very sad smile. She goes, "Sadly, yes. Unfortunately, my friend and I need to head out. We've received an urgent call that we must go to, and so unfortunately, we have to leave. I'm so sorry."
Okay. Now I'd like, let's see, make athletics. No, athletics check, Frey. You're going to make an athletics check, Frey.
Okay.
This
Public,
would be
private,
public.
whatever. Oh.
Public.
Oops, I was about to roll it wrong.
There is a loud crash of glass on the floor. You hear this, Agatha. You hear this, Cassandra. Althea, you're in shock. Kyle, you're kind of taken back as well. But what has happened is you've actually managed to tumble into one of the glass tables, and Alandro's
Great.
butt has actually fallen into it and through it, and it wasn't a very strong piece of glass, but it definitely shattered what was in there, and you all toppled to the floor. No damage, but yeah, that happened. Agatha, you hear this. You continue out the door?
She's continuing as fast as she can.
All right, you and Cassandra in tow make your way out. You pass through the garden area, trying to be nonchalant about it, and you get to the main entryway with opened gates. There's no guards here, of course. And there, your Otari is before you. You could make your way where you please at this stage.
When we get Alandro up,
Yes, poor guy. He's covered in glass.
well, we'll get him. Well, I'll help get him out of the glass. I'm guessing Vigrad would do the same as well. It's up to him.
Yeah, I'll help you there, Frey. Sort of dust him off a little bit.
At this point, my eyes are kind of wide, looking at Vigrad, kind of saying, "We've gone too far with this. We've got to let everything play out now."
Oh no, like I'm just gonna help you pull him out of there, and then Vigard's gonna sort of grab you by your collarbone of your armor and sort of whisper, "Go now." And then Vigard's gonna going to sort of nonchalantly motion to Althea for everybody to start heading to the exits. Quickly.
All right, I'll go.
Okay, they make their way out. What are you doing, Kyle? Or Grad?
Vegrod's going to sort of pat that helper on the shoulder. Sorry about all that. Pardon his manners. He's a bit different. Sorry about that. Gotta go.
And you're all going to make good your escape at a jog pace. You make your way out of the...
Oh no, like as soon as Vegrod gets clear, Vegrod's going to motion to Freddy. Book it.
Wow, you guys, I'm telling you. All right, so Althea.
I'll carry Althea if I have to.
Althea. You're in on this now, Althea.
Yeah, she's very against this, especially because it involves the two newest people that she's met, and she was already kind of on the fence about their attitudes. So she lives in this town. These are going to be people she sees. She sees, maybe on a daily basis if they go to the Dawnflower Library. So maybe as she's rushed out, basically ordered to by Vigrod, she goes to find pen and paper to write an apology.
Okay, but you're making your way out.
Yes.
Yeah, and Grod is chastising Freddy. The next time you're going to do a trick like that, let me know so I can prepare for it.
I could have smoothed this over. You told me to go. I thought you were going to stab somebody. I didn't want to be there for this.
Okay.
I'm not killing civilians here.
I could have talked it. Whatever. It's too late now. We're in trouble. Good
Damage
job.
was already done.
I could have smoothed it over at the end.
You smoothed it over all right. Knocked him into a tray.
Would Agatha eventually see Frey again?
Well, once you made your way outside the main gate, what did you do? You could make your way back down to the Rowdy Rockfish.
Be the first place. They would start looking if they start a search party. Agatha's going to stop Cassandra, and she's going to tell Cassandra, I need you to go back. I need you to tell them that I'm going to be heading slightly past the Druid circle that me and Vigord were at. I'm going to hide there.
She's talking, we're all running like, go, go, go.
She's talking to Cassandra because I think Cassandra and Agatha were a little farther ahead of the group, and so she's going to tell Cassandra where she's going, and then she's going to book it.
So Cassandra just nods and says, I only hope it's you that's deciding this and not, and then she looks at where you pocketed it, that thing.
Agatha doesn't answer. She's already booking it towards the tree line.
All right. Back inside, you guys are making your way out of the museum. You hear the guy in the background struggling and cursing under his breath like, oh, there's going to be so much trouble for this. And he begins calling in other servants to help him clean this mess up. And as you get out the front, facing through that long corridor that leads to that bigger room with the steps going up, you can see coming down the hall two more servants, a woman and a man, come rushing down. What happened? What's going on? They hear the voices of Elrando.
He fell. We're going to go get medical help.
Yes. And they rush past you. And you get out into that main room there with the steps. You take one last look up at the top of the steps. You see the mayor standing at the top, a little concerned in his look. Are you going now? He says.
Yes, thanks for the tour.
You'll be back for my daughter, I assume.
Probably not.
As you quickly make your way, hauling ass, continuing out the front door, Althea. Do you say anything?
Yeah. As soon as anybody who passes Althea, she gives like a bow of apology, hangs her head low, and and just kind of like bends forward, and she says, I'm so sorry. It's all been an accident." And even if they don't even ask her, like, just guilt ridden. She's angry, but she's not showing it.
Gotcha. Well, there's no resistance. You can make your way out the front gate, through the garden, through the front gate, and overlooking Otari. And there to your left, you see Cassandra appear from behind.
Cassandra, what the hell is going on?
Agatha will be beyond the Druid Circle. I am not sure I have the words to describe the rest of the events. I'm working on it, though.
A clusterfuck is what it is. Let's go.
I can't run in this anymore. Screw this, I'm walking.
Ah, pups.
I thought we were going back down into the gauntlight thing. I didn't know we were going to be coming up here. I was dressed for war.
So was I. I didn't expect this.
Well, you didn't have to walk inside their home. And she just gives like a bit of attitude. If you want to go to the gauntlight, go. This is not how we treat people in Otari.
What do you think Oh my god, you know what? I don't have time for this. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I'm not gonna listen to some discount dwarf try to school me. Ugh.
Easy there, Frey.
Well, I don't want to talk to a wannabe guard.
I'm not a guard.
Oh, I'm gonna go. Come on, Cassandra.
Yes, exactly, but you look like you want to be, and they won't even take you.
Damn.
So this conversation is happening while you're heading up to
Yeah.
I'm
the
walking
circle?
and trying to catch my breath. Like I'm breathing. Just ran out of a building. And however far
shit.
this was, what am I wearing? I know it's heavy armor.
Probably really hot.
Yeah.
You need to work on
Is
your
it a spring
stamina,
day?
Frey. You need to work on your stamina, Frey.
I can fight in this all day. I can't run in it.
You just proved my point.
Screw this, I'm
does
sitting down.
Well, did anybody have any idea what Agatha was planning? I
Not a
didn't
clue.
catch all of what had happened. Obviously I was with you guys elsewhere.
Last track I had, there was some claw in a case, and then all hell broke loose. Me and
I
Frey
knew she was
tackled across the
interested in
guard.
it. You said it was a claw in a case.
Yeah, claw in the case.
Like a tiger claw?
I have no idea why.
I mean, a wolf paw, tiger claw, bear claw. I mean, what?
Kind of almost resembling a hand, almost.
Look
of
like
what it
a
looked.
yeah, like a primate of some sort, hairy. Like it could be an ape, or
Why
some
does that not surprise me?
or some vile creature. Can't tell. But Agatha might. Now you didn't pass close by to where that glass was that she opened up and took it, so you weren't able to see as you exited out whether or not what happened there where Agatha was with this paw. So you don't know exactly what happened unless Cassandra revealed to you that she swiped it. She has it. So
That's something Cassandra would try to tell Althea, like, privately away from the other two. And explain that she's not sure, because it's not her, like, again, it's not her wheelhouse, but she's not sure if it was completely Agatha's decision to do all this stuff.
Man, you robbed the museum. Guy was willing to pay you and you robbed him. Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short intermission while they make good their escape and regather at the stone circle here, because they got some explaining to do. Or Agatha does. All right, so you guys think about that. And we're going to go to an intermission here for about 5 minutes or so. Okay? Folks, we'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Part 2. Finish off our session here tonight. Pretty crazy stuff. Lots going on. Be prepared for the unexpected, they say. We're going to see what happens next. As the companions have just got done robbing the Menemese Manor museum of something. They're not sure what it is. We'll have to find out from Agatha. She's the only one that really knows what's going on with this thing. She seems pretty confident she knows what she's doing. We'll find out as the party has now gathered around the stone circle. Now, Agatha, when you arrive at the stone circle, you see there's about a half a dozen of those guys lingering around. I don't know if you're confronting them, but they are close by at this location. Do you approach them, or do you kind of keep to the distance, maybe on the other side of that little lake there?
Considering what she's carrying, she would rather not test to see what's going to happen, so she continues past, and she's going to go to the tree line where she said she would be.
Okay. And you wait to see what happens, who arrives.
Okay.
About 20 minutes later, a little less than that maybe, about 15 minutes later, you see the arrival of Grad, Frey, Cassandra, and Althea. Her arms crossed, looking a bit annoyed. They arrive and they spot you. So you've all gathered at this point now together.
Agatha's standing there silently waiting for people to start bombarding her with questions.
Too tired to ask anything.
Good. The hell was that about?
Agatha's gonna wiggle her robes around until it reveals the limb to them. She's trying to hold back her own anger, but at the same time she's gonna remain calm as much as she can, and she's gonna try and explain to the best of her abilities of what she remembers what this limb can do, and how in her head she thinks it could possibly have been tied to the mayor, and why he was in such a position where people could not even touch him.
Okay. You reach into your robes and quickly pull them tight. The limb is not there.
Pardon me?
The limb. All right, let me rephrase that. I'm speaking to Agatha, nobody else. Agatha, the limb is not there.
Come again?
As you reach into your robes, the limb is not there, and you pull your robes tight and adjust them to look nice and neat. As your friends approach, what do you do?
She immediately reaches out with her own dark magic and see if she can detect if that thing is nearby.
You sense nothing. There is no ping of new magic.
Can somebody please answer Vigrad's question?
Okay. Tangent plan, she's going to explain to them what the hand is capable of, but she doesn't reveal to them the limb itself.
Yeah, she goes on to start explaining as you guys arrive, and she's straightening up her robes and stuff. She explains to you what I described before regarding that paw.
And you think any of that matters? We have a mission in the gauntlight. I did not sign on to raid museums. To bring down a mayor that's family's been in power since its very founding. Yes, it's odd. Yes, it's
That
suspicious.
thing was cursed. Would you rather to suffer the child to possibly only get your gods know what happened to her? You saw
was
her
locked
eyes. You saw
away
what you
in a
saw her
case.
eyes. You saw her eyes. You saw what she was going through. You saw what she was doing. That was not natural.
No, it wasn't natural. But once again, we have a mission in the
So
gauntlet.
you would rather
People
you would
have died for.
So you would rather a child would suffer.
Some rich kid's kid? Yeah, why not?
Not my point, Frey. We already
mine.
had a mission. Rendering aid, yes, is always useful. And if this arm is as dangerous as it says, then why would the mayor even have such a thing in his possession in the first place?
Because
it makes
it would
no
have
sense.
had control over him. It would have given him power to keep himself in line, so he would have been able to control everybody within the town. Do you not get what I said?
I'm a soldier, not a politician.
How does
Are
a
you-
bone keep somebody in power for 500 years?
Are you saying he might not be fully in control of his actions?
He was not fully in control of himself. You saw the girl. You saw how she acted. Was she in control of herself?
Then definitely not, but I believe we would owe it to the town to destroy something like this.
I mean, if it's dark magic, I'm in.
Indeed, it should be destroyed, but the next time a situation like this arises, don't you think we should all be communicating with each other on this matter instead of flying off the hook? Me and Frey assaulted a guy
I completely
for
agree.
your complete mission here. While we already have a mission that is costing lives.
Cassandra,
Next time this
speak-
happens, we need
Nope.
to speak and communicate with this. The next time you find some sort of cursed, possessed object, call that out to us. We can come up with a plan from there.
They would have known that something was going on, and we wouldn't have the chance to take it out. Don't you get it?
You can always point. That's a universal signal.
So Cassandra speaks up quietly to Agatha and says, I understand why you did what you did. You see that girl in a curse, and she cannot act normally. She cannot find rest. And you see something of yourself in her that has moved you to a desperate action. I have empathy for this.
Agatha looks directly at Cassandra as she's talking, and you can see a change in Agatha. Almost as if she's like trying to shield herself, as Cassandra was actually picked up on what she was trying to hide. And without a word, now with the whole group kind of upset with her and everything, she kind of just turns and starts making her way towards the gauntlight.
So
Just going dead
she-
silent.
Okay, so let her get a few steps away, and then Cassandra just addresses the rest of the group and says, none of us can understand what she is going through. She is something quite unlike the rest of us. I don't like what she did.
Fair point. Well spoken.
Frey lays
we have
back
to-
in the grass, almost the way his character looks right now, just with arms outstretched and no sword. And it just starts laughing.
Right, this is a serious topic.
Now, the thing is, as the group is all talking and everything, the Agatha would have gotten a good, probably decent amount away from them, and she could just feel the absolute sensation of almost being exposed, almost as if her true reasoning was being shown to the rest of the group. She would just feel this overwhelming sensation of anger, And just throwing her head back, she just screams bloody murder as if trying to release the anger within her.
We still see her from that particular point of view, Fritz.
Yeah.
Yeah, hearing her scream, Big Rod's gonna trot over to her.
When you do this scream, for a moment, your flesh on your face is revealed. And you immediately feel the singe, the burn of heat on your chin and on your nose, and it burns. And you writhe in pain momentarily, instinctively cowling your face with your hood once again. And this is what you see, Kyle, or Grod, as you approach.
Cassandra was right. I understand why you did it. I would have just liked to have known that you were doing it.
Agatha whirls around. She looks at Vigrid. She points a hand at him. Her limb just shaking, and you can just tell so much rage is in her voice as she says, "You have no idea what I go through on a day-to-day survival. You have no idea of what I survive to endure to make sure that no one deals with what I do. I accept this. I have taken this on, and I am trying to show everything that I have within me that I am still human, even though I'm fighting this evil within me. And yet, your friend Frey continues to say what he is saying. I have almost reached my limit. And the other reason I have not broken is because there are people within this group that is holding me together, and they do not realize it."
And it's at this time that Althea takes something from her bag and offers to Agatha. She says, "I'm sorry I have not shown as much support, and I know you know I'm here, but I want you to use this. And think of me as you do. I'm here to help because we are all trying to fight the same thing." And she hands over a wand of harm to Agatha.
We're not all like Frey, Miss Agatha. Some people are genuine and care to help.
Agatha's gonna take the wand from Althea, and you just and her body just shows exhaustion, even though you can't see her face because of the veil that she wears. She's gonna make her way back to where Frey is, and she's gonna look at him for a few minutes.
Frey is literally sitting in the grass, just sitting there, kind of dumbfounded. I wasn't listening to your conversation at all.
And just she's fighting for a few seconds within herself, and then she actually gets down on her knees and she actually hugs Frey. Like, she attempts to try and hug him. Not to bite him, but to actually genuinely try and hug him.
One hand is going to my boot. It's just staying there. Trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm creeped out. But I accept the hug for the hug, but I also know what she is and you know how I feel about that, so I'm creeped out.
She whispers only enough for him to hear. She goes, "Thank you. I truly mean that." And then she lets go and stands up.
I give a nod. I can't do anything else then. Nope, Frey's out. He nods and then just sits there, even more dumbfounded, but now and no longer with the shit-eating grin on his face. Now he's actually perplexed.
Though, unfortunately, there is a matter I believe I have to bring up to you, one that you're not going to like.
So, are you talking to me?
She's talking to the whole group.
And what might that be?
She's gonna slowly and gradually open her robe, showing everything up, the entirety of the fabric, and she's gonna go, I no longer possess the limb. It's gone.
Someone stole it from you.
Agatha shakes her head. Nobody stole it.
Hold up, you took it? I thought you were just inspecting it.
I took it because I didn't want the child to suffer.
Oh, Lord.
Perhaps the limb is bound.
Perhaps it's
can't-
bound to the residence.
Yes.
That
Perhaps
would
it
lend
can't get too
credence to
far.
Agatha's theory.
Yes.
Why did you take it?
I didn't,
For real. Why did you
I-
take it?
I didn't want the child to suffer, Frey. Put yourself in my place. Would you want an innocence to suffer?
Is that the real reason? Or is that the reason you're telling yourself?
Whatever the reason, we need to know our next moves.
Althea, is it possible you could... She looks embarrassed. Gain entrance to the museum to see if the limb is back at its original place?
I can try, but I don't. If they see all of us together, I don't believe they'll let us back in.
And wouldn't that be a job
I'd-
for Sheppy?
I don't
Should be.
think... I don't think it's necessary that we all accompany you. I think it might be more prudent if you went on your own.
I can try. And she just looks at Cassandra. She's like, "Oh, you mean now?"
So...
Start heading over.
So,
Oh, okay.
not necessarily now. I don't know if we plan, and she looks grimly towards the gauntlight, if we plan on returning in there. But just to see if, in fact, Agatha's experience was not for nothing.
All right, but I'd ask that you all stay close behind, out of sight, just in case something does happen. People who are often cursed aren't exactly pleasant. And then she explains that's why she took the griffin toy from the young woman. If she was possessed, things like that. Possibly I was asking the wrong person.
Agatha's gonna hold her hand out to Althea. She goes, give me the griffin.
She does so.
I will remain here and stay in the tree line. You go.
So, Althea, are you going to head back in full daylight and waltz back into the...
They're still cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
I would
No,
say-
Game Master.
I would say best to go at nighttime.
No, Althea thinks the longer you wait, maybe the worse it'll be. But how long has it been? At least 15 minutes, right?
About 40.
All right. So how much time would have passed by the time I make it back if I head directly there?
About an hour.
All right. An hour is enough for them to cool down. I should go and offer apologies, and that might get me close enough to the paw. Or, at least into the museum.
All right. So, Okay, so you want to do that, and the rest of you are going to remain behind?
I'd rather
Agatha
not
does.
prejudice people against Althea more than we already have.
Agatha remains behind.
Okay, I'll hang back.
I'm definitely staying back. Actually, I'm going to try to get Agatha's attention, but I'll wait till the Althea thing's done.
Okay. All right, Althea, it's going to be about an hour. Still about 3 hours before noon strikes. And there's really only 2 ways to get... Well, actually, there's one way to get there. You're over the cliff. Yeah, so if you look where I'm pinging, to the north of the town,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be heading up there. That's the main way to get into town. And then you're going to continue, I assume, along the ridge, or along the cliff. You'll see there's a road that takes you to the mansion's side entrance. I think that's the way you left as well. Yeah, it is. So yeah, you can make your way back, and you do so, and you arrive at the front gate. It's still open. You still see a couple gardeners working in the gardens. Everything looks normal, as far as you can tell, as you stand there at the front gate. Oh, welcome back, young Althea. And you see this other individual servant that you haven't seen before, an elderly guy. He knows you. Have you come to see the mayor?
Yes, I have. And if you could get him and, oh shoot, that gentleman's name. The one we had that incident with.
Alondro.
Yes. The mayor and Alondro. I'd like to speak with the both of them. The matter is quite urgent as it involves an apology.
Oh, I see. I wonder what that could be about. Well, follow me. And he leads you to the front entrance and into the main hallway. And it seems quiet enough. There doesn't seem to be people shouting and yelling like when you left. The normal servants greet you at the front and welcome your return so soon. Have you come for the child?
I believe the child was brought to the Dawnflower, and I bring of no news of her.
Doriana, well, come. And they invite you in, but you want to see the mayor. And you see it when you enter that main hallway with the steps that go up. You can see there above, looking down, peering down, is the mayor. Ah, Althea, you've returned. I assume you come for my daughter. Come. She's been asking about her griffin, it seems. And he invites you
Is
up the
he-
steps.
Does he have anything to say?
That's all he says.
Oh. I follow the steps upward
You do so.
and join him and ask, is Alondro around?
Alondro? I believe he's out in the garden in the back. I shall fetch him at once if you need to speak with him.
Yes, please, if you do not mind.
And he turns and he claps his hand and whispers a few words to another servant who quickly disappears out the door. Now come, look to my daughter. And you enter the room once again where you see Doriana. And she seems to be better dressed now. She's got some decent clothes to walk out in public, evidently waiting for you and your arrival. Take her to the Dawnflower. Oh, Althea, thank you for coming. Did you bring the griffin?
If I say, okay, no, I'm not gonna lie. I have not brought the griffin with me. I've told you, it's has an injured wing. Agatha's taking care of
no.
it right now.
Well, that's
Don't
very
worry,
kind of
don't-
her. When do we
She
leave?
tends to keep things very safe. We can leave within the hour.
Oh, good. Father said I could bring one of the stuffed animals to join me and Griffin. And she pulls out this one stuffed animal. It's a very snake-like stuffed animal. But she holds it tight and she pets it softly.
Just very casually, I take my religious symbol, and make it very, prominently shown. And ask her, do you like butterflies?
You do. You produce it nonchalantly in front of her. The mayor also witnesses this, and his left eye kind of crooks upward as he looks down at you as you do this. What did you ask?
I ask if she likes butterflies, and isn't this one beautiful? And of course, we see the relic, the shape of Desna's butterfly with the sun and the moons on
Right.
its wings.
And as you do this and show her this holy symbol, just then you can see very faintly these transparent, fluttering butterflies of multicolors just dance around. There's about 6 of them. And they're dancing around your emblem, and they rise above, drawing closer to the little girl, and they start to go around her head and swirl, and her eyes catches them, and she almost reaches up to touch them. How beautiful! As they fade away. Nothing else happens.
Well, I'm glad you find that they're beautiful, because this is where we'll be taking you. There's more butterflies there.
Oh yes, I'll look forward to that. Can we go?
In time, yes. Is there a sense motive to that side eye?
Go ahead and make a perception roll. Blind. It was as if he was saying, you sense this, as if he was saying, what a silly thing to do. What does the matter with you? That's what you sense from it.
How long does it take for Alundra to get there?
It's about 15 minutes, and you hear the feet begin to arrive up the steps. 2 pairs of feet. And you see Alundra enter the chamber with the other servant, who closes the door behind him. Althea, you've returned. I must say, your friends caused such a ruckus in the museum below earlier. I must apologize. I was a little bit taken aback by what was happening, and it was certainly my fault. We apologize. All is well. And he looks to the mayor, as if to say, the mayor was saying, as if what had happened, like the mayor doesn't know.
And despite his apology, Althea still says, No, it is I who must apologize. I've actually come for you to show me the damage that was done. I wish to see what they have done and scold them appropriately.
Damage.
Damage. I had witnessed the glass shattering.
Oh, yes. And
And I've also been told that something was stolen.
Something stolen? Oh no, that could never happen. And with that, the mayor looks over. What exactly did happen, Alondro? What is this she speaks of? Damaged and apologies? What are you all speaking of? And he replies back to the mayor. Oh, it was nothing. There was just a minor misunderstanding on my part, and I was the one who was injured, unfortunately, and it was my fault. But it's all been taken care of now. Well, show Althea where she needs to go, and don't let these things happen. They're going to be taking my daughter to the temple shortly. I would ask that you make
Yes.
it quick.
Yes, if you just quickly show me the table that... Or it was a table, right?
Yes.
Yes, if you just show me the glass table. And I'd like to personally take a look at the museum to ensure that nothing, in fact, had been taken.
And you do so. You make your way back down, and as soon as you enter the place, you don't see... He's kind of leading you in a direction where you didn't go before. Although you get the feeling if you kind of went the direction you wanted, he might follow along and go in that direction. Do you do so?
So it's like he's trying to avoid taking me in
Yeah.
a certain
Kinda.
Then I'll request... I'll question it and request we go the other way.
Oh, yes, of course. And he turns back around, and you pass through one alley and get to this area right where Agatha was standing. And passing by, you indeed see this primal hand in place, undisturbed. Continuing on past it, another aisle down, you see where there was indeed an accident. One of the tables was smashed through on the end. The glass has been removed. A few shards of glass remain behind, but he quickly finds them himself and says, "Oh, excuse me, don't step here, you'll get cut." He reaches down and he picks them up. We're still in need of mending this. This is where it was damaged earlier. Now, was there anything else you wanted to see? So essentially, you saw the hand.
Okay, I was going to say, we passed it and I saw it.
Of course, you didn't have a good look at it to begin with, but you think that was the hand.
Yeah, I think out of everything in there, it might be pretty easy to pick out. After Agatha's description. And Althea will be honest with Alundro. I swear, that wasn't there when I left. And she points to the case.
So you're getting close, and how close are you to this?
Well, she's pointing to it, so like not touching the glass, but like 10 feet away. She's not like right at it. Like it's
Okay.
like they passed it, and then she's pointing back. Like I swear that wasn't there when I had left.
Okay, as you point in its direction and catch eye of it once again, what'd you say, about 10 feet?
Yeah, 10 feet. That's pretty far.
Perfect. Give me a will save. Okay. As you point and look around, you take a double take. The hand isn't there. But you continue saying what you're saying. And he looks in the direction where you're looking. He says, "What is this that you speak of? There is nothing there, Althea." Or is it that
Now that
over
I'm-
there, that little... He's pointing to something else that was next to it.
No, I speak of the paw.
The paw? I have no idea what you're speaking of. I don't think we have a paw in here. Is there anything else that you need, Althea? I don't want to keep you too long.
I believe I've seen everything that I need to. And I will speak to Doriana now and take her to the Dawnflower.
Okay, you can do so. Now, again, when you walked in, You're pretty sure you saw it.
Yeah.
It was a bit distant. But then when you looked back and pointed pretty close to it, it was not there. It was missing. No sign of anything where a hatch was opened or anything, or nothing like that. Everything looks undisturbed. And you did verify where there was an accident and part of the glass table was smashed and cleaned up for the most part. So you verified that as well. But you're not sure what's going on with that. You're sure you saw it. But it doesn't seem to be there. And you work your way back up the steps, and the mayor's still there. And you have a few chuckles and a few laughs. Nothing out of the ordinary. And Doriana's ready to go. She's excited to go to the temple. She knows you work there. Perhaps you could show her around to some of the books. But you can tell...
There's quite a few tales I'd love to share with you.
Oh, let's go. And she looks a little bit more vibrant than she did previously, although the rings around her eyes are still blackened, and she does look very frail and from fatigue. And you could make your way to the temple if you so choose.
Yes. If there are any guards coming with them, she requests that she and Doriana go alone.
Well, that's fine. The mayor trusts you.
Just messing. Sort of.
It's true. It's true. And yeah, if you want to do that, head right to the temple. You can do that, no problem at all. As far as you can tell, you're not being followed. Go ahead and make a blind perception roll if you want. But anyway, you do make your way to the temple.
So I tell Doriana, you know what's faster than going through town? Going around town.
Yeah, I get you.
Otari is filled with strangers, and you know your father is a well-known man. Let's take a walk around the outskirts. Now, when's the last time you've been out here? Let's go for a walk.
Okay.
Maybe this will tire you out and put you to sleep.
Okay, you can do that. And as far as you can tell, no one seems to be watching you. They, at least from the gate, they watch you and wave you on. Mayor's in complete trust of you, I guess. So you make your way to the...
The mayor's daughter? Where's she going?
You make your way to the north side of town and continue on to the west, correct? You're not going to go to the main entry? Are you going up to the...
Oh, yeah, we are taking up the high side road to
Right.
Miller's, and then leaving Otari, I believe, technically. And then walking out towards the Druid Circle.
Yes, okay.
So this way, it's also not to make her suspicious, because like it is technically the road, and it probably is technically faster.
She's just exhausted. By the time you get there, she's breathing heavy.
Oof.
Kind of taking a while to get there, and suddenly, there she is. Still in her nightgown.
It's a good thing we walked around town then.
Okay, kids, we're going to camp out. So yeah, you've arrived with her in tow, and you see the other companions kind of gathered around like they were before. So Althea has arrived.
And I would have also had some sort of conversation with her, and I would have asked, have you ever seen your father play with any toys? Like a stuffed animal, perhaps, or a paw?
Never. He never plays with toys. I'm lucky he lets me play with toys. I am older, you know. Not like my siblings.
Has he ever given you any toys to play with, or have you perhaps played with toys you shouldn't have been playing with?
Just the ones from when I was a younger child, and of course, the ones that are given to me in dreams.
What toys do you receive in your dreams from?
Quick, check your notes.
From the Motley Man.
The Motley Man. Oh, he keeps me safe. He's always giving me new stuff. new toys to play with, and he plays with me too. But
Perhaps when we get to the Dawnflower, we can read more stories about the Motley Man.
Yeah, he's fun. I could never see what he really looks like, though. He's always in that hood. But he's fun. We have fun. But
Be wary of strangers, regardless of the fun you have with them.
Yes, yes. Now, where's my griffin?
Don't worry, just up this path here. Okay. Almost there.
So what are the rest of you doing by the time she arrives?
Fritz, I'm sorry, it's past 10. I'm gonna have to get going.
Okay, my friend, we'll call it here.
Sorry to bail.
We'll call it here,
right.
If you guys are good with it.
I don't mean for everyone else to stop. I'm just saying it's...
well, we're going to call it in a few minutes here. I just want to tie things up.
Okay.
But okay, Eric, that's all good.
No, if you're going to call in a phone, I can wait a couple of minutes.
All right. Now, when Althea arrives, what are you guys doing?
Agatha is pacing back and forth along the tree line, just looking as if she's being torn from the inside out.
I wanted to go over and have a conversation with her, a little bit away from everybody else, or at least keeping an eye on everybody else to keep them out of, let's say, out of the conversation, and talk with Agatha.
We could do that. Everybody else?
Do this. She's pacing.
I'm just posted up by a tree, sort of keeping watch on the road.
Cassandra's probably meditating.
Doing a little meditation under the tree. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, Eric, you can do your outro. I want to let these guys do whatever final role play for the session they want to do, and then you can stay in as long as you want, but you could do your outro now if you want to.
Sure.
I don't want to drag it out for everybody.
No, it's fine. So, thanks a lot for hosting. A new mystery has popped up.
Yeah, where did this come from?
The disappearing and reappearing monkey's paw. I like we got to do a deep dive into Agatha's character. I thought that was neat, and my interactions with her have given me a better handle on playing my own character, Cassandra. So that's my takeaway from today's session. I was glad I was able to have those two role-playing experiences. So thanks to everybody, and I hope you all have a great week.
Awesome.
You too.
You too, Eric. We'll keep this going a few more minutes here, a little bit. Let's go to you, Frey and Agatha.
I'm gonna walk to her. I'm not sneaking up on her or anything like that. I am walking slowly, maybe even a little. Nope, I can't do that around Vigrod. So I'm walking to her with some purpose, but not in any sort of threatening manner. I'm gonna talk a little bit lower in voice again, kind of giving her the idea that I'm not trying to shout this out to everybody else. Just tell me again, really, why you wanted to go there. Why you wanted to go to the mayor's house museum.
Did you not hear what Cassandra said?
I don't care what Cassandra said. I'm asking you.
Did you hear what she said?
I did.
Then why do you need to ask me?
Because I want to believe you. I really do. And right now, I think I'm choosing to believe you. I don't know if my heart's in it.
If I was truly evil, if I was truly a monster as you think I am, would I have not taken the hand and gone to the gauntlight and gone to Valcor and given it to her and continued to serve her?
Your own power, your own edification? I mean, I don't know what you want to do with an item of dark magic. I wouldn't want it, but...
I took that item so the child wouldn't suffer.
Well, between you and me, I think you're better off without that temptation. And listen, well, I believe this was a wasted venture. In this, Vigrod was absolutely right. Don't tell him I said that. If this is what you need to do to feel human, I'll entertain these side trips. Because I think they're good for you. But understand that in the military, we call this the rope to save or choke yourself. I will be there either way.
Agatha is going to raise an eyebrow, look at him, look over at Vigrod, look back at Frango. What is that supposed to mean?
I just smile. I will be there either way. Keep your humanity. And I'm not gonna walk away like "Psh, I'm done with you, woman," or anything like that. But I am gonna turn around like, as in my part of the conversation's over. Almost as if I've dismissed myself.
That's... Just gonna watch him walk away. That term they use is gonna completely have her confused as one can be. And she's gonna go over to Vigrod. She's gonna ask him what Frey meant by that phrase. She goes, "Is that like a normal term between you or something?"
No, it's a saying in the army we use for soldiers that sort of go out of their way to pursue certain items. They're in essence going rogue. I should know. I've been labeled a rogue. Not that Frey would ever know.
She's gonna look between Frey and Vigrod. She's gonna go, "Okay, you two really need to talk to each other. Like, actually, if you have to, can each other to a tree and talk to each other, because this is just this is between you two."
If I may confide in you a moment.
She's gonna look at him curiously. Yeah, I guess.
Last battle Frey fought went sideways in a hurry. I was the commander of the local garrison. Mustered out troops as quick as I could to cover their retreat. So many fallen. I did everything I could to save that lad. And he didn't even know it. What good are words here? Now, what could I possibly gain by telling him that?
Well, obviously you two need to talk to each other because apparently you are hiding stuff from each other, so...
This is not going to go well. Frey!
What?
Mayor!
Come here.
Frey,
Yes, sir. Aye, Captain. I
Weird
stand up.
language.
I'll walk over there.
Have a seat, Frey.
Oh God. What? She didn't like what I told her, that I was giving her the rope to choke herself with? Look, she can take that both ways. You know that.
It's not what I meant.
No.
Agatha's gonna skedaddle off to leave the two to be.
Oh, no, you don't. This was your idea.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
She's gonna
Frey,
stay.
there's something I have to tell you. Before we go adventuring into the gauntlight or rummaging around whatever. Your last battle. You
Nope.
remember it?
Nope. I'm getting up and I'm trying. Nope. Nope.
Frey,
No.
you are either going to sit.
No, I'm not going to sit and listen to this. I don't need to relive it.
He has something he needs to
I don't
say.
care
to
what
you.
he has to say. I'm not reliving
You
it. That's a
did-
year. That's over a year ago.
Frey,
I don't care.
I do. Please listen to him.
Agatha.
I give her like an extra long stare for a moment,
Please?
like a little longer than I would normally, pretty much anybody else, and I just give her a slight nod. I'm not sitting. What do you have to say, Captain?
Your last battle, you remember it.
Yes, I remember it.
Remember the garrison who saved you.
I remember the garrison that was way behind me as we were all, well, most of us were dead.
You understand there was a column of civilians behind you. I had to sift through them. But I got to you, Frey. And much like you, I'm an outcast. They discharged me for it.
Agatha looks at Frey.
Frey is as stone as he can be, and you can tell it's intentional.
So is Vegrod, as he's just sort of staring at him, making eye contact.
Are we done?
You're not the only one that's out on your own, Frey.
I never said I was. I never am.
Frey, calm down and just listen to him, please. For my sake.
They took my home too, Frey. I saved you once, and if you'll listen to me, we'll get through this. We'll get through it in one piece.
I already gave you my sword. Why?
And now he's asking for your trust, Frey. You want me to trust you? He's asking the same from you. Trust goes both ways. You can't have it one way.
Trust is also earned.
So let him earn it.
We're still here.
Vegrod would stand up and move over to Frey. My mission here, it's not tied to the army.
Oh?
No. 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 This one, I'm searching for a home too. Though I did not expect to find you so far south. I would have thought you would have been in Absalom.
I had no intention of being found and being sent back. I pretty much figured out. Now, I assume what most people think of me. Probably my own family. Certainly everybody in the military. I wasn't going to try to defend myself, so I wasn't going to be in any situation, any location where I could be found. And then I saw you. A year later.
You know that you're wrong, right, Frey? You're wrong about your family. They grieve for you.
It's better they think I'm dead at this point.
No. No, Frey. North is torn apart. I buried my family. You still have yours. Perhaps writing a letter wouldn't be such a bad idea. Once all this is over, of course. For now, we have enemies to fight and wounds to lick. But you and I cannot help this team if you and I are always at each other's throats. So, Frey, I'm asking you. Man to man, not captain to private. Are you with me?
I can't
help
give you
me.
that. I gave you my sword, and if you know anything about me at all, you have my word that we're together in this for now. Anything after that, I want to be left alone and forgotten so that I can live down here or wherever I have to be after this in peace. And maybe one day I can bury the memories of my friends.
They never go away, Frey. The friends I've lost still travel with me. There's nothing wrong with memories, Frey. Good memories. You bury the other ones deep. I hope that once all this is over, you're able to find that peace.
Then we have an agreement. But I cannot promise that nobody earns trust in just a few words. I have told you that you have my sword. I have done nothing but try to help, whether they see it or not. This motley group of, I don't even know what they call it, the companions. I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to be in charge. I'm not here to make anybody do my bidding. I just want to keep them alive, because if they're alive, chances are I'm alive. After this is done, maybe we'll drink beers. I don't know. But until then, you have my sword. They have my sword. I will not contend your orders.
Good. I intend to use that sword to keep them alive. For that's our mission here. We keep them alive. No matter the cost. No matter our pride. We gotta keep them alive, Frey.
I look over at Agatha. I'll let her try to figure out what she might think that I'm thinking, and just satisfied.
Good talk. Back to it.
I've heard this phrase before, and I've never really asked what it means, but apparently whenever you've done something good, people say that you've earned respect points or something. She looks at him baffled.
I smirk. I try not to. If anybody watches closely, I'm trying to bite my cheek, but I give her a smirk, and then I just turn around and walk away.
Oh, Vigrod is laughing.
I do salute Vigrad, though. And then I turn around and walk away.
Agatha looks at Vigrad. She's like, what does that even mean?
Your guess is good as mine. Oh, look, I see Althea. Enough with this mushy bit.
Sorry, God.
So as this conversation goes on, Althea and your charge, do you want to continue on to the temple, drop her off, and see that she's well while your friends wait?
No, actually, she'll go greet the other companions.
Okay.
Yes. I am actually going to have to pop out for the night.
Okay. Well, before you do so,
Yes.
you all agree that, things have settled down. Althea's revealed you've revealed what happened there, right? It's still there. Did you reveal that? The paw?
Reveal my information about what I found out, that the paw was it was there, then it wasn't.
Yeah.
So Althea will share with whomever's listening the great detail of what had happened, trying to keep this away from Doriana's ears, and just reassures her, just one more second, will be there. I just have to update my friends about the apology I've made to the mayor, and then she'll also ask Agatha for the Griffin toy.
So it wasn't even there.
Agatha just numbly hands the griffin to Althea before she just walks away, finds a tree to slowly slide down against, and just sits on the ground with her legs curled up against her chest and just curls in herself, just silently sobbing.
As you pull out the griffin and you give it to Althea, you notice something on your hand, and you immediately hide it. Something was there on your hand, drawn or something, and you kind of hide your flesh under your sleeve a little bit as you hand off the toy. And as Althea, you take the toy and you show Doriana that you have it and all that. You all kind of settle down and have some little bit of a small talk here. And Agatha, you kind of pull away. You're a bit unnerved by what you saw in your hand. And your other hand grips your palm and your wrist, and you start to rub it, and you, in the shade, you pull back the cloth, hiding from the sun, revealing your flesh, and you look briefly, and there you see, right there around your wrist, you see what looks like a clasping hand grabbing your wrist, like as if it was tattooed on your flesh that's very white and pale. And you quickly pull your shirt down over, compelled to do so, and hide it in case anyone sees this. It looked like the hand that you saw in the museum, just as big, and it was clasping tight your wrist. And as you pull away into the shade and kind of cowl your face, you hear the voice. Finally, it's mine, and it's only mine. And your eyes close. And that's where we're going to leave it. So everybody do your outros and we'll get out of here. Okay. All right, thanks everybody for being in the episode once again. Interesting things are afoot. Not by my choosing, of course. These guys decided to break into a museum there and swipe something they perhaps shouldn't have. They were warned. They were warned. But they wanted it, or at least one of them did. Wanted it bad. And she may just have got it. We'll see. As we've got a new twist to the story here that even I was unprepared for. Imagine that. So let's all do our outros, starting with Kyle. Go ahead, my friend. What'd you think?
I didn't do it.
You didn't. You tried.
No, I mean, it's interesting. It's good RP. Me and Frey sort of getting at it there a little bit here and there, and Frey kind of falling down and me rushing over, and kind of had the same goal there, not to hurt this guy, and ended up kind of doing some home wrecking tonight, which is normally never me. Oh yeah, I had fun with it. Looking forward to getting back in the gauntlight and
Yeah. What happened to that story?
Rapping and smashing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see what's up in Misa's sleeve for the next time.
We will.
I'm sure he'll be plotting something.
You bet. Althea? Rachel, you're up. What'd you think tonight? Got a little sneaky, you did.
Sure. We got something all right.
Wow.
How things escalated so quickly. That's all right. It was good. It was a good session overall. Learned some things about some other characters. That's just kind of some of them have opened up, which is quite nice. But yeah, more to learn at the next session, right?
You bet. How about you, Frey? Max?
Oh, it was I had fun. This is good stuff. Yeah, I want to know who has that monkey paw now. Because if what's her name? Agatha doesn't have it, and it wasn't back there, that only leaves Cassandra.
Oh.
So I guess I have a target.
Magic.
Yes. No.
Magic is afoot, I think.
Yeah. No. Anyway, no. I thought it was good. I don't know if this is like some sort of side thing that is supposed to be a red herring, or if this is all part of what is the bigger story, what's going on. Either way, I like these kind of decisions where we have to sit here and decide: are we just going to jump down and back into the hole that we're supposed to be beating stuff up, or are we going to try to save? I don't know how old she was, but 12, 13-year-old girl. So
Teenager.
what's that? Yeah, teenagers. Yeah, I like that kind of dilemma, and yeah, definitely the role playing. Getting into people's heads. I think one of the things that we all have to look at when it comes to that is, just saying, hey, I'm the good guy now, it doesn't always make that person the good guy. We got to prove it to each other. And I know I'm kind of seen as the antagonizer here. Not going to lie, when Agatha went over to Vigron and said, why is he always causing these problems? Like, what the hell did I do now again? But that's good. I like the fact that everybody in the group has got their perspectives and so forth, and we will try to work through them, and I think that should take time. So I'm having a good time with this.
Excellent. Good. And Agatha, Dizzy.
Definitely an eye-opener tonight. Nobody was expecting what was happening. Not even myself expected what was happening. But now she's got an even bigger problem on her hands.
Literally.
And seeing that mark on her hand just kind of made it all more important that she needs to do what she believes is necessary to ensure everybody makes it through, even if it may possibly cost her her life.
Well, we're going to find out next week. We'll see what happens with that little mark on her hand. We'll find out more about that. That's interesting. But yeah. Folks, we're going to call it there. We're going to go to episode 59 next Sunday. Hopefully have another full house. Great players here. It was good. No combat, really. Lots of die rolls here and there as needed, and lots of role play. It was good. I enjoyed that. I got to sit back and plot things while they jibber-jabbered. That's what it was. Yeah, I enjoyed that. But we're going to be back again next Sunday. Same bat time as usual. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Like my co-host here, Dizzy, always reminds you folks. We'll see you again next time. So till next time, folks, you guys hang in there, because it's only going to get better, and that's for sure. Talk to you soon.